6:16 today with the 6 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Hands you can trust and state-of-the-art facilities. Physio Extra, tailoring care for you. physioextra.com.
British police are still piecing together what sparked a mass stabbing attack on a train in eastern England, but say there is nothing to suggest it is terror-related. Of the 9 people initially taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries, 4 have been discharged, 2 remain critical. A 32-year-old man is being treated as the sole suspect. Another man arrested, aged 35, has now been released, authorities saying he was not involved. This passenger says people were trying to run and do what they could to stay safe.
I got a metal tray because I was so scared and petrified myself, and I wanted to protect myself. And then leaving the train, the conductor managed to open it. The other conductor got stabbed.
There have been car fires north and south of the city overnight. The first was at Door Park late last night. Another 3 were reported at Cavan, Manopara and Gawler, the last around 4:30am. Australia's illegal tobacco cartel has joined forces with a mysterious Chinese crime gang to infiltrate and control the local vape market. Carolee Katsambanis has the story.
A $4.5 million stash of more than 115,000 Chinese-made Alibaba vapes were destined to be pushed into hundreds of shops across the nation. SMH The Age reporting a tip-off led Australia's Border Force finding them inside one of thousands of steel boxes on a container ship intercepted on the docks of Sydney's International Container Terminal. The illicit vapes marked down on customs paperwork as furniture. 3 more containers also removed, again packed with this new Chinese-made product that has swamped the Australian market in the past year and become one of the most common vapes available.
The Optus boss will appear before a parliamentary inquiry today to answer questions about the company's 000 outage. Michael Packey has more from Canberra.
The inquiry, initiated by the opposition, follows the catastrophic failure of the 000 system, which meant hundreds of Optus customers couldn't dial the emergency number in September. The incident is linked to the deaths of at least 3 people. The telco is blaming human error as a result of a botched firewall upgrade. Optus is conducting an investigation into its processes, but a number of key executives have already left the company. Today's inquiry will hear from its current boss, Stephen Rue, and Australia's telecommunications watchdog will also be asked to answer questions about its handling of the crisis.
Year 12 exams officially start today. Maths is first cab off the rank at 9am. Also this week, physics, accounting, biology and modern history. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Be the first to test drive the all-new Mitsubishi ASX at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
And it's good morning to Tom Wren.
And a very good morning to you as well, Mel. Australia has lost the third T20 to India by 5 wickets in Hobart, which means the series is level at 1 game apiece. The Aussies made a total of 186 against India, who reached the target with 9 balls to spare. Tim David top scored with 74, blasting the longest recorded 6 in T20 international cricket, 129 metres. He's happy to continue batting at 4 as Glenn Maxwell and Cam Green prepare to return for the World Cup.
Yeah, I'm not going to pick the team at this stage, but the coach has given me a challenge to face more balls and have a bigger impact on the match, so I've been really enjoying that, and we're just trying to figure out different combinations and get guys experience in different positions, so I'll bat wherever I need to. We can change the batting order at any time, so trust the coaches with what they're trying to build.
Meantime, India has just won the Women's One-Day International World Cup after beating South Africa in the final by 52 runs. Well, the Adelaide 36ers have bounced back to the winners list with a nail-biting 2-point win against the Illawarra Hawks. The win cements the Sixers in third spot on the NBL ladder, and they'll be again on the road on Thursday night against New Zealand. To soccer in a couple of games in the English Premier League overnight, Manchester City enjoying a 3-1 win against Bournemouth. West Ham also recorded a much-needed 3-1 win against Newcastle. And in the World Series in baseball, the Los Angeles Dodgers have become the first team to go back-to-back in 25 years after beating the Toronto Blue Jays in extra innings, 5-4. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Staycation for a vacation? Stay with CMAX. Visit cmax.com.au to sign up today.
Showers and 16 for your Monday. A shower or 2 tomorrow, 17. Wednesday, partly cloudy, 21. Thursday, a shower or 2, 27. Right now, it's 12 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. For over 50 years, we, the Lynn Andrews team, have specialised in commercial and residential property management. But above all, we specialise in people, helping to make life easier for investors and tenants. Everyone is treated with empathy and respect. It's the way we do business. It's the Lynn Andrews way. For residential and commercial property management, we're here to help you. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
Would you like to enjoy a meal without having to worry about heartburn, bloating and other uncomfortable indigestion symptoms? Caruso's Indigestion Ease Probiotic to the rescue. Caruso's Indigestion Ease Probiotic relieves and helps reduce the occurrence of indigestion symptoms. It also relieves heartburn and supports digestive system health. So if you're fed up with indigestion and heartburn, try Caruso's new Indigestion Ease Probiotic today. Comes with money-back guarantee, now available at leading pharmacies and health stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
G'day, it's Fitzy here. You know what, I wish my kids would call me a legend, but the actual legends down south are Lamb Solar. South Australia has some of the most expensive electricity prices in the world, an unfortunate fact that Lamb couldn't accept. Lamb is a team of local champions who care about finding the best solar solution for your home. They're honest and they don't do the hard sales thing. So if you're thinking about solar, think LAMM, Lamb, the real legends of the South.
Imagine you have a dog bounding across your garden of lush green turf. He jumps, he rolls, he lays on his back, feet in the air and gives himself a good old scratch. A dog really knows how to appreciate grass. And you can appreciate yours every day when you lay lawn in your garden from the Turf Farm. The Turf Farm plant it, nurture it, harvest it, deliver it. And importantly, they guarantee it. Trust the Turf Farm. Go to theturffarm.com.au.
G'day, Alan Gray here. Speaking mechanic to mechanic, we all know that when you're looking to load up your rig or to do some off-road exploring, the right suspension is crucial. It dictates how much weight you can carry, what you can tow, and how safe and comfortable your ride will be. At Terrain Tamer, our range of GVM upgrades, parabolic springs, smart coils and fortified shock absorbers will get you there and home again without a hitch. To find out more, go to terraintamer.com.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
Live from Hindmarsh Square, it's FIVEAA Breakfast. David Penberthy and Will Goodings.
6:08, good morning to you and welcome to Monday on FIVEAA Breakfast. It is the 3rd of November. It's going to be a difficult morning if you're an executive at Optus because the inquiry into the 000 outage begins this morning. We're going to be chatting with the Shadow Minister for Communications, Melissa McIntosh, after 6:30 to try and get a sense of what we might learn today, what the outstanding questions are. The National Farmers Federation have said something that I think every Australian that's produced anything at any level probably agrees with but finds difficult to do. We need to have more markets than just China. So where and how do you make that happen? And does the federal government have a role to play? The National Farmers Federation coming up. Also, a horror situation on a train in the UK, a stabbing that we're still learning information about. There's one person arrested, originally 2, but one's been subsequently released. We'll be crossing to the 7 News Europe correspondent Jacqueline Robson in Huntingdon after 7 o'clock today to get some more information about that. And speaking of crime, back here in Adelaide, little old South Australia, the head of British American Tobacco in the UK, speaking from their London office, has described the crime problem here in Australia when it comes to illegal tobacco as the worst in the world. We'll be chatting with John Trezise from British American Tobacco, the Australia and New Zealand head of corporate and regulatory affairs after 7 o'clock to get their sense, their insight. Some of their figures about the illegal trade of tobacco are unbelievable. So that's coming up after 7 o'clock. David Penberthy, good morning to you.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, listeners. Yeah, this piece is amazing. There was a story over the weekend, I think the Australian ran it, about Coles and Woolworths' profit dive.
Yes.
Off the back of illegal tobacco sales. Obviously, if you're buying illegal ones, you don't need to go and pay $60 a pack or whatever they are now for the legal ones. And, you know, when you go to any supermarket, the old front of house, they're all hidden away in drawers now, not on public view. About to sneeze. But the huge economic impact on the big two.
Well, this is it. We've talked about it from the perspective of the tax take and what it's meant in terms of from the federal government's perspective. But the other side of this is the commercial retailers who are getting smashed. And people might go, oh, boo-hoo, the commercial retailers. That might be, but they give you a pretty good indication of how pervasive the problem is and the size of it as well. So we'll get into that after 7.
Totally.
We want to do something new on a Monday morning. Mondays are hard enough. We want to start with a positive. Each and every Monday morning, we're going to do a new little thing called Weekend Wins. We want to know what your weekend win was on 8223 and this morning you could win yourself a $100 Kent Town Hotel voucher. Book their balcony bar upstairs at the Kent Town Hotel, your own bar for up to 80 people. $100 to spend at the Kent Town Hotel. You tell us your weekend win.
I love this idea. I think it's good. I don't think I should be eligible this week to enter because...
Oh, no, yours is a good win. Tell us.
Oh, we had a great weekend. Kate and I, we went on the world's shortest adults holiday. We went away for 23 hours. We flew to Melbourne Friday afternoon, got back Saturday afternoon. But we went to see Oasis on Friday night. Now, I've got to say, I wasn't like an Oasis mega fan before the gig. I've been doing my homework, listening to a lot of their albums on repeat on Spotify over the last couple of months with Kate. I had an absolute ball. It was so good. It was such a great concert. They're such a good band. I reckon they're an underrated band. Like, and hilariously, Liam Gallagher is one of the funniest people in music. He's got such a self-deprecating manner, and didn't he give it to the half when he set off the flare in the crowd? It was right at the end of the show. We had cheap seats up the top, up the back. Although people weren't standing up, so we went and moved, and we went to this disabled area where everyone was standing with all the disabled people who were there enjoying it. It was bloody excellent. But this half-wit lit a flare in the crowd, in the general admission standing zone. So, and people are cheeked by a jowl at Marvel Stadium. 58,000 people in there. But apart from that, it was a great night. I saw quite a few AA listeners who were over there too.
Few people had weekend wins. Maybe if you got over and saw it, you'd be eligible. If you want to call in on 8223 tell us your weekend win. You can win yourself that $100 Kent Town Hotel voucher. Mine, much closer to home. We were, after swimming on Saturday, we thought we'll take Rosie. This is terrific playground at West Beach, behind the caravan park. We've all redeveloped it. It's a terrific playground. And we started driving there, and she fell asleep in the car, as it turns out, when we were about to pull in. And we went, oh, what are we going to do? And I remember the night before on the news, we had this piece about there were some green shoots in terms of some of the data about the algal bloom. On metro beaches, there would just been less of a concentration of the stuff they look for than we'd previously. So I thought, let me look at the Beach Safe app. I looked at every single beach from Brighton through to Semaphore. Here's what the readings were. Discoloured water? No. Abnormal foam? No. So on what was a 28 degrees day on Saturday, we drove to Brighton, meandered our way back down the beach, ended up having brunch at Semaphore next to this terrific little playground that's down there. There were people swimming. There was water life going on.
How good.
It felt like a traditional summer's Saturday morning in Adelaide.
Yeah.
It was like on Saturday morning, the bloom never existed. It felt magnificent.
So you used that app to check it?
Yeah, I checked it. That morning. I just out of interest, so I thought, what's it going to look like? Because we went for a beach drive in the end, and I thought, well, I don't want to go look at foam and dead fish so forth. 8223 was your weekend win. Let's go to Craigmore. Luke, good morning.
Good morning, Dave and Will. How are you?
We're good, thank you, Luke. What's your weekend win?
Mate, over the last 6-7 weeks, me and the family packed up the caravan. And, I've got 4 kids, all under the age of 12. We packed up the caravan and we went to Cape York. So big road trip.
Cape York?
6-7 weeks. Yeah, right to the tip.
Wow.
So we got back just before the weekend. And my big weekend win was giving the kids to relatives and doing absolute nothing in peace and quiet all weekend. Because the amount of K-pop Demon Hunters songs we had to listen to on repeat and the screaming and the carrying on, oh my God.
And how long is the drive from Craigmore to Wheater, just out of interest, Luke? What is it, about 5 days?
No, well, we took, how long did we take? We took 3 weeks to get there because we went to Port Douglas, Longreach, up to Weeper that way.
Yeah, right.
And then we went up the old telly track to the tip at Pumsand Resort. But yeah, on the way home we went, Townsville, Rockhampton, Cairns, all that.
Lovely,
And then-
beautiful. Good on you, Luke. Thank you.
That's great.
That's a good weekend, a mixed weekend win.
Doing nothing.
Michael and Ross Trevor, what was your weekend win?
David, you could probably relate to this, having a beach house and the proverbial, there's always a job to do. And so the girlfriend was away, so I stayed home. And the old letterbox that had been sitting out in the front for 6 months, and of course we had the rain and the thunderstorms, good opportunity. And it was very pleasant, just a very simple job. Put a new post in, mount it, paint it, and stand back and admire it and think, I don't have to do anything for the rest of the weekend.
That's a win.
The installation of a letterbox.
That is magnificent work,
Immensely
Michael.
satisfying.
The letterbox went in, job's done.
That's good.
Enjoy the weekend at the beach house, Michael and Ross Trevor. How about our wonderful listener, Naomi Will, from Naomi Will Real Estate, who is one of the most generous listeners. Well, I think is arguably the most generous listener we have. Every time there's anything that needs any financial donation, Naomi's the first person to contact us.
I don't think anyone's ever put her at the post.
I don't think it's ever happened. Well, Naomi won a Real Estate Institute of South Australia Community Services Award, which is like trying to compete against Bradman for a batting average award,
right.
I'd reckon. Naomi, congratulations to you. That's a terrific weekend
It's like
win.
Usain Bolt turning up in Australia and going, apparently they have this thing called the stall gift. I might have a crack at that. Well done, Naomi.
Stall gifts off a handicap. He might be starting in the suburb, directly the south of it. Julian
right.
Gould Creek, good morning.
Hello. We had a birthday party for my grandson, and luckily the children were all in the pool area locked in, but with adults, because a snake decided to slither down the road and then come into the yard.
Oh, really?
And it got caught, thank goodness, but not for the want of hiding, and the snake catcher spent a lot of time looking for it until it decided to slither across the lawn out the back.
Oh, wow.
And it was caught, but the kids were all excited, but parents weren't.
No, it's funny, isn't it? How kids react.
That's excellent. So 3 really good weekend wins. Julie's snake, we had the road trip from heaven or hell, depends on the perspective, and the letterbox that went in meant jobs were over. Who wins the $100 Kent Town Hotel voucher?
I reckon let's give it to Michael.
Michael, you got $100 worth of Kent Town Hotel goodness coming your way. Check out the balcony bar, which you can reserve exclusively for you and up to 80 people. $100 Kent Town Hotel. Get in. It's a terrific venue. 18 after 6. Back in a moment.
The Kia Tasman reviews from car expert are in.
This is genuinely impressive. I wasn't expecting this.
But don't believe the experts? Test drive a Tasman today. Tasman, the best you've never driven.
Kia, movement that inspires.
Not every conversation stays with you. This one will. Join Stephen Bartlett as he asks the questions no one else asks. Search The Diary of a CEO wherever you get your podcasts.
Our place is your place at the Albion Hotel. Your place to raise a glass to a big sporting win, a milestone birthday, or just making it through the week. Cheers. Your place to bring the entire family, including the kids and grandkids, for an amazing meal together. Your place to sit back and just soak it all in. The Albion Hotel. Your local, your people, your place.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
If you've been thinking it might be time to replace that tired old laptop or finally get the kids one of their own, Harvey Norman's tech run-out clearance is well worth a look. There's the Acer Aspire Lite 15 with a 15.6-inch Full HD screen, reliable Intel Celeron processor with a 128GB SSD, and right now it's on sale for just $348. You'll save $120. If you want something a bit smarter, the Acer Aspire GoSpin 14 is a 2-in-1 computer. It switches between laptop, tablet or tent mode for sharing photos or watching together. This powerful Windows 11 computer with touchscreen is now only $748 from Harvey Norman.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
At Holistic Care SA, care is just the beginning. They focus on building capacity, helping people with disability develop the skills, support and confidence they need for independent living.
Whether it's creating a resume, catching a bus to the footy or learning to cook for themselves in the home or in one of theirs, Holistic Care SA tailors services to make those milestones happen, step by achievable step. And if you're interested in learning about their housing options, they offer part-time or full-time carer supervision, and great attention goes into placements with like-minded housemates.
For a friendly chat about support with independent living, visit holisticcaresa.com.au, because everyone deserves the chance to become who they're meant to be.
SEW Eurodrive offers innovative solutions with products and services provided from a single local source. SEW Eurodrive, driving Australian industry since 1982.
Tap, the purest water on tap.
Need a new kitchen mixer tap? With PuraTap, you can choose your look with 6 stunning mixer tap designs. You can choose your finish with taps available in classic rich chrome or now in our new classy black. And your water purifier is included in the price. Choose your tap, choose your finish. We'll include the purifier and you'll love the taste. Order now. PuraTap, 133502. T's and C's apply.
A pedicure should feel good, and at Medipedi it does from the ground up. Medipedi combines the indulgent touch of beauty therapy with the trusted skills of podiatry, creating Adelaide's first medical pedicure. It's a treatment like no other. Your feet expertly cared for by a podiatrist, then pampered by one of Medipedi's trained beauty therapists. Because looking after yourself should feel exquisite right down to your toes. With 4 Adelaide locations, book now at medipediclinics.com.au. Medipedi, feel good from the ground up. 5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
22 minutes after 6, you can call us on 822 300 or jump on the police home care text line like already a number have.
Con, this is nice. A lot of grandparents could relate to this. My weekend win was seeing my 9-year-old grandson bag a double hat-trick for his school's indoor soccer team. A double hat-trick. So what's that, 6 goals?
It's 4, isn't it?
I'm not sure. Yeah, it sounded 4.
In cricket, a double hat-trick's 4 wickets, I think.
Yeah. Con would know. Text us back, Con. You've presented us with.
Is it different
poser.
in cricket and football, though, is the question? 2 hat-tricks would suggest 6.
2 hat-tricks is too many, isn't it? 6 goals. No, I doubt that. Quentin says, my weekend win, my 13-year-old autistic son took control of a plane for his first flying lesson yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Onward and upward on his journey to be a commercial pilot. I like this one from Andrew. This is just, low-level, achievable domestic stuff. Andrew says, I replaced the fly screen in the back door and made a new fly screen from scratch for the kitchen window so we could have the window open for the nice weather. Yes.
That is a good weekend win.
A day well spent.
That's the kind of stuff we're after for your weekend wins each and every Monday morning.
Excellent.
The double hat-trick, it is different in cricket and football. So cricket, it's 4 wickets in 4 balls. In soccer, it's 6 goals. So it is 2 hat-tricks. So
Crikey.
Con's son has had a day out, as they say. 10.7 degrees outside at the moment. Feels like 8.8 in Adelaide. Just looking at the weather, you know what? I'm trying to make sense of today's weather on this stupid app. 6 to 25 mils of rain, top of 16. That's what I'm after.
You're not using your mobile phone, are you, Will?
No. I can't use my
Will's
mobile phone.
It looks like a lightsaber. What have you done to it?
This is the opposite of a weekend win. There you go.
Hold it up for the live screen.
Look at that.
It's got this. Looks like
it's a blinding white light.
Burning magnesium. Remember setting magnesium alight in school science?
You know what? You want to cure your child's screen time? Drop their phone enough, and if you get the beaming white light down the middle, it's like staring into the sun to read an email.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's going to be my excuse for not doing it for the next few days.
Right.
Tomorrow, 17 degrees. Wednesday, 21. Thursday, 27. Friday, 23. Some drizzly showers around Thursday, Friday, but nothing to write home about. Then Saturday, 19. Sunday, 20. So Thursday, the temperature spikes, but otherwise sort of steady between that 17 and 23 sort of range over the course of the week. The big news internationally is out of the UK, where British police say that there is nothing to suggest that a mass stabbing attack on a train in eastern England was a terrorist incident. 2 people remain in hospital fighting for life. Doctors are continuing to treat seven passengers. 4 have been discharged. Superintendent John Lovelace explains about the arrest of the 2 suspects at the Huntingdon station in Cambridge when terrified passengers alerted crews to make the emergency stop.
I can tell you that these are the first male, a 32-year-old male, a black British national, and a 35-year-old man, a British national of Caribbean descent. They were both arrested on suspicion of attempted murder. Both were born in the United Kingdom. As stated, they remain this morning in separate police stations for questioning.
Subsequently, the 35-year-old's been released. He was arrested at the time, but the police determined he actually had nothing to do with it. So there is one suspect. It is the 32-year-old man who was on board the train. It sounds like what's going to emerge out of this, and we hope it's not. I mean, it's an awful situation, but the British transport worker, the LNER staff member who tried to stop the attack, is the person who's in the most serious state in hospital at the moment. So hopefully they can emerge and rightfully be celebrated as a hero, because it sounds like this person has prevented a potential mass casualty event.
Yeah. It did have all the hallmarks of a terror attack at first blush, but police have explicitly ruled that out. They've said that the guy is a British-born, British national. And, yeah, early on, when it sounded like there were 2 people somehow doing this sick thing together, it sounded like some sort of terror attack. But the police, I think they've learnt their lesson by being too squeamish by half in the past, the British police. Like, they were very candid. I watched that press conference live last night, and the level of detail that they were giving out about Jamaican heritage and all this sort of stuff. Well, I think in the past they've been so quick to run away from calling a spade when it comes to the role of religion.
Well, it's had the inverse effect, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Because they haven't been forthcoming with information. People have always assumed the worst or assumed it's some sort of cover-up, and it's inflamed tensions. So good that they've been transparent. So we'll get more detail after 7 o'clock on that. Let's talk sport. Tom Moran's in the studio. Be the first to test drive the all-new Mitsubishi ASX at Agostina Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes. Morning to you, Rennie.
Morning, Will. Morning, David. Yeah, what a weekend of sport. Amazing stuff. We'll get into the winners and losers. We'll start with the football. Crows and Port both had great wins. Gemma Houghton, first player in the league to kick 100 goals, did it after the siren, which was great for Port. They just needed the season to be one more week and in length, and they probably make the finals into the form side of the comp, but not to be.
Well, they finished with a wet sail, haven't they?
3 in a row. Yeah, they look really good, and I think Indy Tahau moving forward's been a big factor in that. The Crows, they did it yesterday. They just make the finals, so that was a great win in really tough conditions at Norwood. Low-scoring game, so well done to both of the women's sides over the weekend. Cricket-wise, you've got to tip your hat to India. The men beat us last night, and the women just won the World Cup. That happened in the last hour or so. So India have won the Women's One-Day World Cup. So well done to them. Adelaide 36ers had a great win yesterday. That was a close game. Well, I'm sure you watched it. They're still not overly convincing, right at the clutch, but they got it done, which was fine. But I think the showpiece that sort of stole the show for me yesterday was, I don't know if you saw it, but it's one of the best games of baseball or sport I've seen in some time. The LA Dodgers beat the Toronto Blue Jays 5-4, Game 7, winner wins the whole thing. The Blue Jays, I don't think they recover from that for the next 2 decades. They should have won that 5 times, and they didn't. The Dodgers got it done. So they're 5-4 down, the Toronto Blue Jays, bottom of the 11th inning, so it's gone to extra inning. They've got runners at the corners, so first and third base. So they've got the tying run at third. They've got, the winning run at first. 1 out. This happened.
Bounces one up the middle. Bats to the bag. Over to first to beat the champ. You got to knock him out. The Dodgers stand tall and win back-to-back titles.
Double play. So, I mean, it was just, and it was such a brilliant call to beat the champ. You got to knock him out.
Yeah.
5 times they had him on toast every 8th inning, 9th inning, 10th inning, 11th inning. They had it every time they couldn't get it done.
Didn't one of the games go to the 13th inning and it finished at 3 o'clock?
No, it was longer than that, 18th. I think it was the 18th inning.
18th?
Yeah. So
it's almost, it was
twice as long as a normal game.
Yeah, it was an epic series.
Oh, wow.
So look, the Toronto Blue Jays play well, and they're playing Shohei Ohtani $1 billion. So they're the highest grossing team, the Dodgers. They should be going well, but still well done to them. Observer won Derby Day. We'll do some Melbourne Cup tips tomorrow and have a bit of a look at that. And one of the other losers from the weekend, Adelaide United, unfortunately 2-1 down in their A-League clash. So they've lost back-to-back games, albeit both of them on the road.
Good on you, Reddy.
Thanks, boys.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 16 today with the 6:30 news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Physio Extra for Locomat robotic technology treating stroke, cerebral palsy, brain and spinal cord injuries. Visit physioextra.com.
A 32-year-old man is being treated as the sole suspect in a stabbing attack that occurred on board a London-bound train. Mimi Becker reports.
Police say there's nothing to suggest that this was a terror attack, but the motivation is still being investigated. The train bound for King's Cross, London, was forced to make an emergency stop in Huntingdon after the stabbing spree on board. 9 people were initially thought to be critically injured. One, a train staff member, is still fighting for their life. The male employee recognised for trying to intervene and stop the attack, while witnesses have recounted their fear, forced to hide on board in the bathrooms as others ran carriage to carriage to try and get away. A second man has been released without charge.
4 car fires were reported overnight. The first was at Ayers Avenue in Door Park, followed by Goldsborough Road at Cavan late last night. This morning they were at Field Road in Manopara and Murray Street in Gawler. More than 13,000 SACE students will start their final exams today. The first subject is mathematical methods at 9 a.m. The exams will end with geography and music studies on November 14. And students will receive their results on December 15. Optus executives are due to appear before the Senate this morning to be grilled about the telco's deadly 000 failure. The parliamentary probe into what happened, when and why was given the green light last week. Senator Sarah Henderson says it's crucial to get answers.
Well, I am determined the Senate inquiry I initiated into the catastrophic Optus 000 outage will uncover the truth. Australians deserve nothing less.
5 German climbers have died after being caught in an avalanche in the Italian Alps close to the Swiss border. The bodies of 3 men, a woman and a 17-year-old girl have been recovered. And obstructive sleep apnea may be linked to microbleeds in the brain, according to a new study. Further research will be needed to examine if treating the condition can prevent microbleeds. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Be the first to test drive the all-new Mitsubishi ASX at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
It's all happening in the cricket, Tom Wren.
Yeah, absolutely. A stack of that at the moment, Mel. India levelling the T20 series against Australia at 1-1 after a 5-wicket win in Hobart. The touring side reached their target of 187 for victory with 9 balls remaining. Tim David top scoring for the Aussies with 74, but he admits it should have been a few more.
The constant loss of wickets hurt us in trying to set up a good total. We felt like that was probably par. 220 would have been, India bat very deep. So that's the sort of score we need on a really good batting pitch. That happens. There's some good bowling and it doesn't happen every game.
David also smashed the longest 6 recorded in T20 international history, 129 metres. Meantime, England has arrived in Perth ahead of the upcoming Ashes series, which begins in less than 3 weeks. And India has just won the Women's One-Day International World Cup. That's after beating South Africa by 52 runs in the final. Well, the Adelaide 36ers are on the winners list again after a 90 to 88 point win against the reigning champions, the Illawarra Hawks. Bryce Cotton again leading the way with 24 points.
Adelaide get the rebound through White. They feed Cotton. He's got business on his mind. Bryce Cotton for the 3. Oh, you can see it in his eye.
Audio there thanks to ESPN. And there were a couple of games in the English Premier League overnight. Manchester City jumping up to second spot after a 3-1 win against Bournemouth, while West Ham had a much-needed win, also winning 3-1 against Newcastle. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Staycation for a vacation? Stay with CMAX. Visit cmax.com.au to sign up today.
Showers and 16 today, a shower or 2 tomorrow, 17. Wednesday, partly cloudy, 21. Thursday, a shower or 2, 27. Right now, it's 11 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings. 5AA Breakfast.
25 minutes to 7, police and weather coming up for this half hour. Also, we're going to be chatting with the National Farmers Federation Interim Chief Executive, Sue McCluskey, about a desire to diversify away from China. Lots of markets want to do it, the farmers among them. How do you make it a reality, though? We're chatting with Sue just before 7 o'clock this morning. But first, let's talk 000 outage. Optus today have a suite of serious questions to answer at a Senate inquiry into precisely what and how it happened. The Shadow Minister for Communications is Melissa McIntosh, who joins us on 5AA Breakfast now. Melissa McIntosh, good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
No, not at all, Melissa. So can you give us a bit of an idea? The composition of the committee, is it what, Labor, Liberal, Green, Teal? How's it sort of line up, and what do you expect to come out of it?
Yeah, it's been a combination of, you might be surprising your listeners, of the coalition with the Greens coming to an agreement to do this inquiry. We've been pressuring the government for weeks and weeks now to have an investigation into what happened with the 000 outage. And this is really the first chance for Australians to really hear from and for us to get to the bottom of that outage and what occurred that day. The CEO of Optus will be appearing. Optus is up first. And I've got questions. When I met with the CEO, he didn't give me confidence that this wouldn't happen again. Australians deserve confidence in the 000 network. It seems to be a human error, but how does human error of an individual cause such a catastrophic outage where lives were lost? And questions around how does a big telco get government contracts at the same time as getting big fines? There's so much into this that is much deeper than just this one outage, this one event, and I hope we get some of those questions answered. In addition, ACMA, the regulator, will be appearing. I said all along ACMA has been caught up in the failed process. They knew about this outage on the Thursday that it occurred. The minister didn't know about it, she says, until the Friday. What went on there? Now ACMA has been appointed to investigate itself, basically. It's just, it seems nuts in some ways. I don't think Australians would think this is the right way to be going about things. So I think today is a good start for us to get some of those big questions answered.
The government has been quite keen to, and the strength of their language about Stephen Rew's performance, about the company's performance, about its parent company's performance. It seems to have suited the government politically to pile as much public pressure on Optus as possible, to a point justified, because this has happened before. But beyond that, though, the role of government, the role of the regulator, do you think that the government has been deliberately piling it on with Optus to try to create a sense in the public's mind that there's no role for government in any of this?
Yeah, the current Labor government's pretty good at this distraction, and people, won't, get to the depths of actually what's going on. There's a lot of lack of transparency, I suppose. The government has a big role. The telecommunications industry is one of the most regulated in the country. Questions around whether those regulations even work. The government sat on the Bean review after the first Optus outage in 2023 for a year and a half. There's still questions around which recommendations they've picked up and have implemented. We found out recently that the custodian to oversee the whole telecommunications network has been sitting in the department since March. And, what were they doing when this outage happened, and what was the minister instructing them to do? And then we had to rush through legislation. I really wanted there to be a public register of outages, but the minister's pushed that back onto the telco, so it's up to a telco to promote whether it's had an outage or not. And I really, on behalf of the coalition, push for fines to be increased, because the fines are obviously not even making a dent right now in the actions of these big telco providers. So you're right. There is a big role of government here. It's quite convenient for them to be pushing it all onto Optus, but it's not just about Optus, and it's not just about this one event. It's about the whole telecommunications ecosystem. I think we need a thorough investigation so Australians have confidence again.
And Melissa McIntosh, as Shadow Minister for Communications and a member of the Coalition, I'm not trying to be flippant here, but can I ask you, like, good on you for springing out of bed on a wintry Canberra morning, 6:10, and doing interviews with us here in SA. But when you look at today's front page of the Oz and the historic low result that the Coalition has got, do you worry that people might be in your crew might be feeling a bit listless and despondent, and what's the point? And that they're, the level of enthusiasm and the thoughtful comments you've made in the last 6 minutes of our chat about a policy area, that the Libs might actually be suffering a bit of a existential crisis that they might not emerge from right now?
I've considered that term over the last few months, the existential crisis, and I've settled that we're not in that state, but I do think we're going to be better when we focus on being a strong opposition, and that's what I've tried to do these last weeks, along with my National Party colleague, Anne Webster, and I think we've done well in prosecuting the case, but we need to do that over and over again. And we are down in the dumps. Australia, gave us, a big resounding no at the last election. So it's not, I don't think it's unexpected that we are so low, but I would like to see us starting to pick up ground again and to start earning the trust, because there's so many issues that we can be prosecuting against the government. They promise more housing in this country. Their targets are way off. They're not going to produce the housing they promised Australians. They promised to get to net zero, but it looks like even their 2030 target they're not going to meet, and they're putting more pressure on more renewables, which is like pushing prices up, and they promised electricity prices would come down for Australians. For me, that's 3 strikes. They should be out. But as you said, we're talking about ourselves instead. So I hope we turn things around in the very near future.
Yeah, get a few of your colleagues out giving good interviews about policy like you just did. Melissa McIntosh, the Shadow Minister for Communications, thanks for joining us.
18 minutes to 7. Let's have a little walk down memory lane, shall we? Started by Ben Jordan on the Police Home Care text line, who mentioned the forecast maximum amount of rain we're going to get today is 25 millimetres, the absolute max. He says if we did get to 25, that would be nothing compared to the 12th of November 1960, so 9 days from today, 65 years ago. Just 14 degrees Celsius that day, 75 millimetres of rain. Now, the problem was that was pageant day in Adelaide.
Oh, dear.
That was a pretty nasty old pageant day back in 1960. The 12th of November. I wonder if any of our listeners were there. We'd love to hear from you. 8223
I wonder if any of our listeners were actually in it.
Well,
they might have been.
What are your memories of Adelaide's wettest Christmas pageant?
Were you riding Nipper or Nimble in 1960? Anyone?
Now, the other thing is more recent, and I suspect a host more of our listeners would have been at this event that took place for the very first time on this day 40 years ago.
Last lap of the first Australian Grand Prix, a race which has been full of interest, incident, drama and excitement since the lights went to green.
Yes, a marvellous weekend for everybody as Keke Rosberg comes up to win, and well organised the Australians. A truly marvellous race with lots of drama.
Victory, the 5th in his Williams career and his Formula One career for Keke Rosberg, the 2nd of the year.
The event, of course, the very first Adelaide Grand Prix that took place 1985 on this day, the 3rd of November. It was a remarkable race, and I'm sure our listeners, anyone who was there, may recall this. 35-degree day.
Yeah, it was a great day.
Just 8 of the 25 starters were classified at the end of the race, which means only 8 officially finished. 17 cars didn't make it to the end. It was won by, as you heard, the great Murray Walker there, Keke Rosberg. But the runners in the race, I mean, I had this poster of the starting grid of this Grand Prix 1985 on my wall as a kid growing up.
How old were you at the time?
I was 2 when this race was running.
I was going to say, yeah.
But this is like, these names are these are the names I grew up with watching F1 and being into it. Ayrton Senna, Nigel Mansell, Alain Prost, Gerhard Berger, Nelson Piquet. You go to people like Niki Lauda, Martin Brundle, who's now a commentator, Alan Jones, Pierluigi Martini. Like, These people are on the grid in 1985 for the very first Adelaide Grand Prix. Who was there on that hot day to watch this remarkable race? We'd love to hear from you. 8223 or jump on the Police Home Care text line.
I was going out with this girl at the time, and her dad had a tandem bicycle. He lived in Parkside. And we got on the tandem after the race, and we rode into town together, and we rode the full length of the track on the bit that you could open, because they opened up part of it to, what is it, the Decatterville Terrace bit. That was the straight from memory. But anyway, we rode the tandem around on the track just as it was like getting to sunset. It was such a beautiful night being in Adelaide, and there were people everywhere, and it sort of felt like, having grown up here as a kid, born in '69, it just sort of felt like the first time Adelaide had a really genuine sort of party vibe to it outside of the festival, which was always a bit, obviously being an arty thing, it was a bit more middle class. But this sort of felt like this genuine international event, and it was so exciting being there in the thick of it.
And, of course, the suburb of Wingfield still bears the name of the Ayrton Senna, who was on pole, and the 6-point winners. I wonder if any of our listeners are living in Wingfield today on Senna Road or Rosberg Road or Lafitte, Streve, Capelli, Johansson or Berger Roads. They're all named after the pole setter and the points winners of the very first Adelaide Grand Prix. We might take a break. We're going to take some calls on this because a few people with memories of this big, big day in Adelaide history. Let's check traffic first. They get an outfit that will stop traffic at a great price with Peter Shearer Menswear.
Thanks, Will, and morning, David. Roads are wet due to passing showers. Take it easy on the drive. At Penfield, motorcycle crash, the north-south motorway near Walmer Road. Quite slow already at Flinders Park for the ongoing works of Grange Road and Holbrooks Road. And look out for those ongoing activities this morning, Marin Road at the Anzac Highway intersection. You'll find early morning cameras, Hartley Road, Flinders Park and Press Road, Brooklyn Park. Flight Centre's big red sale is on now. Fly Vancouver return from $1,429 per person. Hurry, these deals are selling fast. Call 133 133 today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
I'm The Excelsior Hotel has always felt like home. And for seniors, it's always been great value with 20% discount on selected bistro meals. Yep, 20% off. Feeding the whole family? Bring them all Saturday or Sunday for live acoustic music from 5 p.m. And kids eat free. Some conditions apply. The Excelsior Hotel feels like home, but better. You just know it's a Barreau Hotel.
Your old hot water system can drive as much as 40% of your energy bill. Fortunately, you can upgrade to something that's 70% cheaper to run thanks to Right Price. They're the leaders in heat pumps and installation. Now's the time to upgrade and save money on a more efficient hot water system and take advantage of government incentives and free installation. Reduce your energy costs today with a heat pump from Right Price. Make the switch with Right Price Hot Water.
At Right Price, heating and cooling, you can get the price right at Right Price.
Christmas can be a particularly difficult time of year for people experiencing homelessness, and that's why Hutt Street Centre always saves them a seat.
By sponsoring a seat at Hutt Street Centre's Christmas table, you're giving someone a glimmer of hope with a festive meal, a thoughtful gift and the warmth of the community.
Hutt Street Centre does great work supporting people experiencing homelessness in South Australia, and each Christmas they make so many people feel included and cared for.
I misread that before. I said a glimmer of hope. It should be a glimmer of home, because that's the point of it at Hutt Street. You want to make people feel like they're at home and that they have a home. So this Christmas, sponsor a seat at the Hutt Street Centre Christmas table and give a glimmer of home to someone doing it tough. Visit the website huttstreet.org/Christmas to donate today.
When you're finally free to explore, don't buy someone else's idea of a road trip. At Lonsdale Marine and RV, every van we sell is customised to how you want to travel. Off-grid power, bigger fridge, smart storage, stronger suspension. Whatever your journey needs, we'll build it in. At Lonsdale Marine and RV, we're passionate campers too, so we know what works. Hit the road your way at Lonsdale Marine and RV, 30 Donegal Road, Lonsdale.
This is Big Brother. Be watching 7 o'clock Sunday on 10.
This season, we're back to live nominations, live evictions, and a live stream 24/7 on 10.
For over 45 years, Statesman Windows, a third-generation South Aussie family-run business, has helped home renovators and builders bring design, charm and natural light into their homes. With industry-leading turnaround times, Statesman Windows continues to offer value for money, backed up by great service and advice right across Metro and regional South Australia. For windows when and where you want them, call Statesman Windows.
Windows when and where you want them. Windows when and where you want them.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
10 to 7, lots of people calling in with their memories of the first Adelaide Grand Prix on this day 40 years ago. We're going to get to those in just a moment. But first, let's talk about the weather today and over the course of the week. Jenny Horvath at the Weather Bureau joins us. Today looks like it's going to be interesting, Jenny, but what do you think's going to happen and what do you think's going to happen for the rest of the week?
Yeah, look, so still some showers around today. That system that brought all the showers and thunderstorms yesterday has moved to the east, but the lows are lingering just south of Victoria there, so helping push a little bit of moisture. And there is another associated trough moving across during the course of the day. So we couldn't rule out another thunderstorm or two around today, especially as we head into the later part of the morning and the afternoon. So still a little bit of chance to see a little bit of rain around today. It is going to be a little bit hit and miss. We didn't see too much in the gauges yesterday, around 7 millimetres here in the city since 9 a.m, about 5 around the airport. No longer picking up around 11 up in the hills there. Again, Mount Lofty, 9 millimetres. So not a lot through there, but we could see a little bit more around today. And again, those totals will be hit and miss. Much cooler day out there, though. Only expecting to see 16 degrees in the city. And we're sitting at about our minimum temperature at the moment, 10.5 degrees. Also looking at around 16 along the coast, maybe 13 for Mount Barker for today. As we roll on into tomorrow, again, couldn't rule out a shower or two, maybe not quite as wet there, but still got that cooler southwesterly airstream, still a bit windy, 17 degrees on the forecast. Should be drying up as we head into Wednesday afternoon, top temperature of around 21 degrees, maybe a bit of warmth there on Thursday, 27, as our winds tend a bit more northerly ahead of another system coming through, so whether we see some of that shower activity, the timing will depend, but probably more likely on the Friday there, back down to around 23 degrees. Couldn't rule out the slight chance of a shower around on Saturday morning there, 19 degrees for the pageant and 20 degrees on Sunday.
Good on you, Jenny. Thank you. Let's head to SAPOL. Sergeant Peter Williams is on the line. Peter, 2 people have been arrested for trespassing on a rural property.
Yeah, out in a place called Canny, which is south of Waikerie, just before 7 p.m. last night, police were called to Lowbank Road after reports of trespassers in a vehicle on the property. The owners of the property went to check it out and found themselves a red Subaru sedan, which was parked between the sheds that didn't belong to them. When they got closer, the Subaru suddenly tore off through paddocks, smashing through fences. The owners then followed from a safe distance and kept police advised of what was happening. And if you thought the suspects were acting desperately driving through paddocks and fences, they then stepped it up a little. They allegedly turned in a full 180 degrees and drove straight at the owner's vehicle. Thankfully, no one was hurt, and the Subaru was last seen speeding off to the Sturt Highway. Patrols jumped into action and spotted the car at Cobb Dogler, and they attempted to stop the vehicle there. However, it refused to stop and continued on its way. Just before 8 o'clock, the car was then seen turning onto a road called Santos Road out at Monash, where it veered off into the scrub. Police conducted a search of that scrubland area and found the male and female suspects, and what then struck their interest was about 500 metres from them was a red Subaru on fire. The fire was extinguished, the pair were arrested and taken to the Berry Police Station, and the 35-year-old man from Berry, who police will allege was driving, he's facing a whole list of charges, including trespassing, property damage, aggravated acts likely to cause harm, failing to stop, driving while disqualified and possessing a controlled drug. He's been refused bail and will appear in court today. His passenger, the 28-year-old woman from Valley View, has been charged with trespassing and property damage, and she's currently having her bail application assessed at this current time.
Wow.
So, interesting night in Canny.
Yeah, absolutely. Pete, also, a bloke's going to face court after he lit a fire in Murray Bridge.
Yeah, around 2:50 yesterday afternoon, patrols were called out to reports of a grass fire on Pump Road at Murray Bridge. Local CFS teams were already hard at work putting the fire out when the police arrived, and they then got word of more fires being lit along the riverbank. Patrols from Murray Bridge went along the riverbank to investigate and arrested a man who then allegedly tried to do a runner, and not before he'd managed to light 4 separate fires. However, it didn't stop there. The 51-year-old man from Murray Bridge, who's facing a stack of charges, including lighting a fire during a fire danger season, hindering police and disorderly behaviour, has also been charged with aggravated assault after it was alleged he threw a rock at the CFS crews as they were trying to extinguish the fire. He's been refused bail, and he will have a date with the magistrate in Murray Bridge today.
Unbelievable. Thank you for that, Peter. Sergeant Peter Williams from SOPOL. We'll wait to see how that one plays out. All right, let's talk about the Grand Prix, shall we? On this day, 40 years ago, one of the great events in South Australian history took place for the very first time, the Adelaide Grand Prix. Dave in South Brighton, were you there, Dave?
Yeah, mate, I was there. I was actually there on the very first warm-up day when Alan Jones did the very first lap of the track. I had my little 3-year-old daughter with me at the time. Just Adelaide grew up in that Grand Prix era. And then we had the massive, like the big street parties along Hutt Street, and Rundle Mall was really buzzing. I went to the MotoGP at Phillip Island a couple of weeks ago, and on the main street of Cows there at night, they still have bands playing on the stage set up. It's a really great party atmosphere.
Yeah, absolutely, Dave. Good on you, Dave. Great memories, mate. Let's go to Bernadette. What do you remember of the first Grand Prix, Bernadette?
Oh, Will, it was amazing. My friend Marie and myself got to go into the pits, and I sat in Alan Jones's Formula One car and got the signature. Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Oh, well, this guy, Luke, he was a firer, and he thought we were something special because we were dressed the same, and he put us over the barrier and said, come and meet. It was Nigel Mansell. We got his signature on a business card and sat in Alan Jones's car. It was so funny, but it was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
How much better were the 80s? You dress up and then someone says, you know what, jump the fence, come and sit in a Formula One driver's car and meet Nigel Mansell. Just a different time, wasn't it?
Totally.
Let's go to Flinders Park. Dean, good morning.
Morning, fellas. Yeah, I was there. I was under the trees on the Stag Corner watching it, and I thought, there's got to be a better way to watch this. And for 9 years after that, I got the back row of the Stag Corner grandstand for 10 friends and watched it from there. But the best thing that I've got is memorabilia from the first dinner of all the drivers and people at Ayers House. The menu was on the menu was a helmet, a card of a helmet, right. And I've got signatures of the drivers inside.
That's fantastic, Dean. Thank you. Let's go to Lockleys. Frank, what are your memories of the first Grand Prix?
Good morning, guys. Being 9 years old in 1994, we got to go to the school excursion on the Thursday practice, and that was pretty incredible. But for being a school kid, just walk in through the city and go to the biggest event in the world. But, Adelaide had that CBD inside the track, and the only other place in the world was Monaco.
Yeah.
And we just did it so much better. The drivers loved it. And then we had the 94 Damon Hill and Michael Schumacher incident that decided the title. We had the tyre blowout of Mansell in 86 that decided the title. And it's just been the most amazing thing for Formula One, and everyone misses it.
Yeah, it was a great event. I remember being a little kid, the sky riders in the sky during the pit. Skyriding's not a thing anymore. No one really does it, but it would go berserk at the Grand Prix time. And also the number of helicopters that were suddenly in the air. News stations don't have them anymore. They were just everywhere. Just the whole city felt different.
I think the thing too about it is that I never actually went to the race, but I loved going into the city during the race. It made the city and the race were so intertwined.
Yeah.
And this is why the Melbourne version of it, Albert Park, it's not the city.
It's not Melbourne.
No, it's like another suburb. So unless you're interested in it, you're not going there to hang around. You're not going there for the atmosphere. You've got to be a rev head. You've got to be a Formula One fan to want to bother going to Albert Park. And, I just thought what it did for Adelaide as a community was just terrific. And it's sad that it disappeared and was replaced with what I think is an inferior product over the way.
5AA News Time, back shortly.
This isn't your average grand final. This is the home of Speedway Showdowns, high-flying supercross, and the first ever Supercars grand final. there's also a family fun zone, roaring air shows, and epic concerts headlined by Lenny Kravitz and AC/DC. This is the BP Adelaide Grand Final, where champions are made. 27 to 30 November. Kids 12 and under free with a paying adult. Buy now at Ticketmaster.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
The latest local, national and international news for South Australia. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 16 today with the 7 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Hands you can trust and state-of-the-art facilities. Physio Extra, tailoring care for you. PhysioExtra.com.
A man has died after a car went into a tree on Goodwood Road at Goodwood. The driver, a 73-year-old from Athelston, was taken to hospital for treatment but later passed away. He may have suffered a medical episode prior to the crash. Police will be preparing a report for the coroner. His passenger sustained minor injuries. A man will front court today charged with lighting a fire at Murray Bridge. The grass fire was reported shortly before 3 yesterday near the riverbank. Police finding evidence of 4 spot fires. A 51-year-old local man has also been charged with throwing missile after allegedly throwing a rock at CFS crews. UK authorities say there is nothing at this stage to suggest a stabbing attack on a Doncaster to London train was an act of terrorism. 2 people have been critically injured. 4 others who are feared to have life-threatening injuries have since been discharged from hospital. A 32-year-old man is the sole suspect. Superintendent John Lovelace says it's still not clear what motivated the violence.
This is a British Transport Police investigation and we continue to work to establish at pace the full circumstances and the motivations that have led to this incident. At this early stage, it would not be appropriate to speculate on the cause of this incident.
Support for the coalition has dropped to a record low. The latest news poll in The Australian shows the party's primary vote has slumped to 24% compared to 36% for Labor and 15% for One Nation. The figures show an overall rise in support for the minor parties and independents. Well, an independent MP says the tail is trying to wag the dog after the Nationals formally dumped support for the 2050 net zero emissions target. The move from the junior coalition partner puts fresh pressure on the partnership and Liberal leader Susan Lee. Monique Ryan says more division means less time holding the government to account.
Liberal Party has lost 2 elections on net zero and looks like it's just going to drive itself into an existential crisis here. It's a bit sad, really, because we do need an effective opposition, but we're not going to get that at this point in this term of government from the Nationals or from the Liberals.
The Algal Bloom support package has extended to our dining room table. We can now enter a ballot for a $50 cash back from a seafood retailer. The first draw will take place next Monday. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Be the first to test drive the all-new Mitsubishi ASX at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. The men's T20 series is level after Australia's 5-wicket loss to India in Hobart. Australia posted a total of 186, helped by 74 from Tim David and 64 from Marcus Stoinis. Captain Mitch Marsh telling Fox Sports the total always felt under par.
Key takeaway is that we need 20 more runs and we've got to find a way to get that on days like today, but I loved our intent. We stayed true to the way that we're playing. I thought the way Tim David came out after losing 2 wickets in the power play was outstanding. So there's always things to learn in games, but the margins in T20 cricket are really small. It's 1 or 2 good overs and 1 or 2 bad overs that can cost you a game.
Meantime, India are the one-day World Cup champions on the women's side after a 52-run win against South Africa in the final. To football, the Crows will play finals for a 5th consecutive season after hanging on for a thrilling 12-point win against Fremantle at Norwood Oval. The Crows will host St Kilda now in an elimination final, also at Norwood at 2:35pm on Sunday. The Adelaide 36ers have bounced back to the winners list following a 90 to 88-point win against the Illawarra Hawks. The Sixers now have a 6-2 record to start the season and currently sit in 3rd spot on the table. Well, Adelaide United's women have suffered a first-up 3-0 loss against the defending champions, the Central Coast Mariners. It was a bad weekend for United, with the men's side also going down 2-1 against Auckland. Meantime, there were 2 games in the English Premier League overnight. Manchester City 3-1 winners against Bournemouth, while West Ham also won 3-1 over Newcastle. And in some tennis to finish, Italy's Yannick Sinner has won the Paris Masters, beating Canada's Félix Auger-Aliassime in straight sets. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Get some support at home with ACH Group because a little help can be a big help.
Morning there. Roads are wet due to passing showers. Take it easy on the drive at Penfield. A motorcycle crashed this morning. It's on the north-south motorway near Wamberoa. Quite big delays through there. Works to look out for Parkside, Green Hill Road near Hutt Road, and bit sluggish already this morning at Flinders Park. Works on Holbrooks Road near Grange Road. Early morning cameras, Brooker Terrace, Richmond, and George Streets at Theberton. Moving house is hard. Origin is making it a little easier by helping you move electricity, natural gas and internet in one easy call. Origin. All kinds of useful. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Staycation for a vacation? Stay with CMAX. Visit cmax.com.au to sign up today.
We're heading for a top of 16 today with showers. A shower or two tomorrow, 17. Wednesday, partly cloudy, 21. Thursday, a shower or two, 27. Right now, it's 11 degrees on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
If you've been thinking it might be time to replace that tired old laptop or finally get the kids one of their own, Harvey Norman's tech run-out clearance is well worth a look. There's the Acer Aspire Lite 15 with a 15.6-inch Full HD screen, reliable Intel Celeron processor with a 128-gig SSD, and right now it's on sale for just $348. You'll save $120. If you want something a bit smarter, the Acer Aspire GoSpin 14 is a 2-in-1 computer. It switches between laptop, tablet or tent mode for sharing photos or watching together. This powerful Windows 11 computer with touchscreen is now only $748 from Harvey Norman.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
When your aged care isn't that caring, when your rights are ignored, and you feel you're not being heard, call the Aged Care Advocacy Line on 1800 700 600. We help you find the care you need, fix the care you have, and stand up for your aged care rights. That's 1800 700 600. Free and confidential support is as easy as 876. A service of OPAN, an Aged Rights Advocacy Service.
City Discount Tires.
Get saving now with City Discount Tires. We're offering great deals on the world's top brands in tyres, wheels, suspension and parts. Suitable for four-wheel drives, SUVs and passenger cars, including Falcon, Michelin, Pirelli, Kumho, Hankook and many more. Finance options available. Search citydiscounttires.com.au and locate your nearest dealer today. City Discount Tires. We're driven by value.
City Discount Tires.
In Adelaide and across South Australia, this is 5AA, always Adelaide.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
8 after 7, and good morning to if you're joining us for the first time. But what is an overcast and wet start to the week? Hard to believe given what we had on Saturday here in Adelaide.
Saturday was like a summer's day. It
was like a beautiful summer's day. Not too many of those coming up this week, but it is spring after all, the 3rd of November today. Coming up, in fact, before we say coming up, reflect on what was the first hour. Weekend Wins launched a new segment where people talk about their big wins of the weekend. That was a lot of fun. It was
great.
And some great memories of the 40 years today since the very first Adelaide Grand Prix. Some terrific stories came through and lots more on the Police Home Care text line, so we might get to some more of those shortly.
I liked Will's nomination that he went to the beach, it was sunny, the water was clear and people were swimming and there were no dead fish anywhere.
It was awesome. It felt like...
let it stay like that.
It was like someone had used the Men in Black clicker that wipes your memory of the algal bloom. Everyone just went, I don't know, it's hot, let's go to the beach. That was excellent. Some good big stuff coming up this hour. We're going to talk with the Farmers Federation about diversifying away from China. Sounds easy to say. What does it mean in practice? We're going to get into that. And also the illicit tobacco trade here in Australia being described by executives at British American Tobacco as the worst in the world. We're living it here in Adelaide at the moment. The private sector experience of this, though, is somewhat illuminating. We'll get to that too. But first, let's head to the UK. This is a horrific story. A 32-year-old man is in custody, being treated, according to the BBC's reporting, as the only suspect in a stabbing attack that occurred on board a Doncaster to London train. Jacqueline Robson for 7 News in Europe is reporting on this. Jacqueline, good morning. What have we learnt in the last few hours about the person in custody? And I'm particularly interested in the story of this poor employee that sounds like they went to heroic lengths to prevent other people from being stabbed.
Yeah, good morning. It's been quite the development given that police earlier today had 2 suspects that they were holding on attempted murder. Now they've let go the 35-year-old man and they have a 32-year-old as the prime suspect. So he remains in custody. There has been new video that has emerged from a nearby business showing passengers running off this train ride from hell. And you can see a lone figure dressed in black walking behind them, almost stalking them with a large knife. He is eventually arrested minutes later, and that was witnessed by a taxi driver who claimed that this man was yelling at police, kill me, before he was taken down by a taser. Now, up to 11 people were stabbed, so close to a dozen people, despite 9 of them going to hospital as critically injured. Just 1 remains fighting for life, and he is a train staffer who was on the train at the time. Police have looked through the footage on the train, and they say there is no doubt that this man has saved lives. He attempted to stop this man who was on a rampage, and so he remains fighting for life as forensics here continue to comb through the train carriages. It's still here at Huntingdon Station and not moving anytime soon.
Where is Huntingdon, Jacqueline? I've never heard of it.
It's north east of London. It's about an hour and 40 minutes or so from the city. It's a smallish town. Many of the people I spoke to today say nothing like this ever happens. Knife crime is quite low here. Of course, it wasn't supposed to stop at this station. It was an unscheduled stop. The driver got the emergency alert. He decided to pull into the closest station. He is being praised for doing so because that allowed police to get to the attacker quickly rather than him stopping in the middle of nowhere. And locals here, they're worried about getting back on public transport. It's a small town. They don't usually use public transport too much. Cars are often used. They say they might avoid public transport after this.
And is there any word on the motivation for this sick attack?
No, police haven't said what the motivation is, but they have ruled out terrorism. That's despite earlier when this was all unfolding, there was an alert put out for all emergency services, a special code that they issue when it's deemed a terror attack. That was later rescinded, and today the police did say that they've ruled out terrorism for now. So we don't quite know what the motivation is. We don't know if this man is cooperating with police. That we'll have to wait and see. No doubt we'll hear about that in coming days.
Yeah, horrible story. Jacqueline Robson there for 7 News, the Europe correspondent at the Huntingdon train stabbing. Shocking.
30 minutes after 7. Currently, as it stands, China takes about a quarter, 23% of Australia's total agricultural exports. It's about $16.2 billion. It's a big export. It's a big industry here in Australia. It's a hugely important one for sovereignty and a whole host of other reasons as well. But the Farmers Federation, like a host of other industries and the experience of people who try to export barley and wine and so forth after the trade breakdown with China a couple of years ago, are saying it's time to diversify, and there are some markets ready and willing to take Australian produce on the subcontinent, in India, in Southeast Asia as well, which all sounds great, but how do you make it happen? Well, Sue McCluskey is the interim CEO of the National Farmers Federation and joins us on 5AA Breakfast. Sue, good morning to you.
Good morning. Pleased to be here.
Great to have you on, Sue. Here in SA, Sue, as I'm sure you'd be aware, we had a front row seat for the impact of what a trade war looks like here with our wines, also our lobsters and grain when China slapped the tariffs on. That was a bit of a salutary lesson about the danger of putting all your eggs in one basket, wasn't it?
Oh, look, it certainly was. And I think what it really showed us was the ability of Australian agriculture to pivot and to be able to look to other markets. And for some of those markets, we were able to get into them pretty quickly. But I think what it does is just underpin the importance of diversification and making sure you do have other markets if something does happen in one particular part of the world like China.
When you talk about it, though, like finding other markets, for the person on the land who's flat out, making sure that their crops are going well or that their livestock are going well, and they're worried about weather and they're worried about overheads and cost of feed and fertiliser and all that sort of stuff. How do you find the markets? Is it more a government job to find the markets and to put people on the land in touch with those markets?
Look, certainly the government does work with many other countries on free trade agreements, and Southeast Asia, of course, there are huge opportunities there with Southeast Asia and India. But government does need to work with business, and the NFF has a strong role here, and I will actually be co-leading a trade delegation to Indonesia and Brunei next week, which is a strategic agribusiness mission to be able to look at diversification and the opportunities for new markets. Of course, we have a strong and established relationship with Indonesia, but there are great opportunities, particularly as it's likely that their needs are going to expand fourfold over the next few years.
That's really the hope, isn't it? Like, we want an expansion of the Indonesian middle class, the Indian middle class, the Pakistani middle class, because, when people get lifted out of poverty, they're going to buy more stuff.
They certainly are, and they look to Australian produce because they know that it is safe, it delivers nutrition, and it really does meet their needs. And I think that's where we have fabulous opportunities in our region, right on our doorstep.
Yeah, absolutely. Good on you, Sue. Sue McCluskey there, the interim CEO of the National Farmers Federation.
We're going to take a break. On the other side of it, we'll turn our attention to what the private sector is seeing when it comes to the illegal tobacco trade in South Australia and Australia, described by an executive at British American Tobacco as the worst in the world. That's coming up in a moment. First, we are going to check traffic on this Monday morning. Get an outfit that will stop traffic at a great price with Peter Shearer Menswear.
Morning there, road to wet due to passing showers. Take it easy on the drive. Penfield, motorcycle crash on the north-south motorway near Roma Road. Quite big delays through there at the moment. Brooklyn Park, a two-car collision. Maureen Road at Henley Beach Road, and busy at Flinders Park for works on Grange Road at Holbrooks Road. Camera, Brooker Terrace, Richmond. Flight Centre's Big Red Sale is on now. Fly Vancouver return from $1,429 per person. Hurry, these deals are selling fast. Call 133 133 today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Renovating your bathroom, kitchen or laundry is exciting. It's the bit after that's annoying. Cleaning and scrubbing mould out of grout. Well, if you choose Mr. Wet Wall now instead of tiles, you'll have a lot less to do later. With Mr. Wet Wall, there's no grout, just a stunning, smooth surface that's stylish and 100% waterproof. It's quicker to install, so it costs less, and there's zero mess. So why wouldn't you Mr. Wet Wall? MrWetWall.com.
On the Cow IQ test, Fluorio milk cows come in at around 100, pretty much the national average. But when it comes to the milk our SA cows produce, it's unmatched. You don't need to be a cow Einstein to produce some of the best milk in the country. You do need the perfect grazing conditions, and the milk needs to be bottled on site and on shop shelves within hours. It doesn't get any fresher, any better, or any more SA than Fluorio Milk Company.
Now, building a home is exciting. The possibilities are almost endless, but for a seamless and enjoyable building experience, it's crucial to choose the right builder. It'll make all the difference.
It's the very reason why so many South Australians trust Rossdale Homes. With over 40 years of experience, the team at Rossdale are your local experts in custom designs, SDA housing, knockdown rebuilds, house and land packages, and more.
And of course, Rossdale Homes are synonymous with the absolute fixed price contracts. It means that there are no hidden costs, just peace of mind.
So if you're ready to build with a team that puts you first at every stage of the building process, choose Rossdale Homes, because trust is a must.
Harriscarf Friends Unmissable Deals is on now. Save 55% off Dunlopillow Luxurious Latex Classic Profile Pillow and 50% off Sheridan Luxury Egyptian Cotton Bath Towel. Sale ends soon, conditions apply. Harriscarf, great brands, great prices.
G'day, Alan Gray here. Speaking mechanic to mechanic, we all know that when you're looking to load up your rig or to do some off-road exploring, the right suspension is crucial. It dictates how much weight you can carry, what you can tow, and how safe and comfortable your ride will be. At Terrain Tamer, our range of GVM upgrades, parabolic springs, smart coils and fortified shock absorbers will get you there and home again without a hitch. To find out more, go to terraintamer.com.
Here's an important air conditioning tip from Morford Air. Never give your teenagers control over the aircon remote. Your energy bills could go through the roof. Instead, for summer, set it around 21 degrees. It's the most energy efficient temperature. And if you turn it on early, before the teens are out of bed, your system will have less work to do, keeping your home cool all day. When it's too hot or cold to bear, reach for the Morford Air. morfordair.com.au.
Morford. Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
20 minutes after 7, we've spoken, not exclusively, but we've used it as a point of reference to give you a sense of how big the illicit tobacco trade is in Australia, about the amount of tax foregone by the Australian government. We see in the budget papers how much they predicted to have taken based on the legal consumption of tobacco. We can see that it's now billions of dollars that the government hasn't received, not because people have stopped smoking, but because they've stopped buying it locally. And what does that mean? It means organised crime. It means fires at shops, spontaneously combusting gift stores and so forth that we've become all too accustomed with, to the point it's become almost a punchline here in Adelaide at the moment. Well, the private sector perspective on this is illuminating too. There was a great interview in the Australian over the course of the weekend with the British American Tobacco Chief Corporate Officer in London, Kingsley Wheaton, who said Australia faced the worst tobacco crime problem he had seen in his global role, saying that criminal gangs had effectively seized control of the nation's nicotine market. This is the company that does this for a living, saying, you know who the biggest seller is now? It's not us. It's criminal activity and enterprise. John Trezise is the head of corporate and regulatory affairs for British American Tobacco here in Australia and New Zealand. John, good morning to you.
Good morning, David and Will. Thanks for having me on the program.
So, John, thanks for coming on. For the sort of legal arm of the tobacco industry, has Australia, between plain packaging, the bans on where you can do it, and most of all, the prohibitive tax element in the price of cigarettes, has Australia almost become a lost cause for a legal tobacco company?
No, I certainly think that that's the space we're edging towards. I mean, I think it's important to understand that illicit tobacco is not a new thing in Australia. It's been a problem for many years. But what you've seen happen in the last 3 to 4 years especially is that it's reached a tipping point. And that tipping point where it gets completely off the chain has in fact come by backing the legal industry into a corner, like you've identified, whether that's through substantial product restrictions, a highly restricted operating environment, an unwillingness to properly regulate new categories, and probably most telling, an unrealistic level of excise on products. And so what we see now is that runaway effect where the legal market simply can't compete. And as you identified, by our measure, Australia's illicit market has jumped from about 29% about 3 years ago to now being north of 65%. And we're simply not seeing that kind of measurement in other countries.
That's a staggering increase, like more than doubled, 29% to 65%. Have the tobacco companies, to your knowledge, done any research on how much the excise would need to come down by to return market share your way? Or rather, do you worry that people are now so fed up with the sense that every time they buy a packet of fags, they're emptying their wallets into Jim Chalmers' pocket, that now it's just become a matter of principle that people are just going to keep buying illegal tobacco if they can get their hands on it?
Yeah, it's a complex issue, and it's not the one thing. There's not one silver bullet for this, and I think that's what governments struggle to understand. And what's fundamentally critical, moreover, is that you can't police your way out of this. Enforcement is a key element to it, and it has been for many years. But if that's the only tool you're using here through enforcement, then you're really just dabbling around the edges of the problem. And so if we put that into a bit more context, we estimate by the end of next year, you'll have around 8 billion illicit cigarettes being consumed in Australia. You put that on a daily basis, that's over 20 million illicit cigarettes a day being consumed. And, we see the enforcement having some kind of effect, but then there's unrealistic elements to that as well. We saw the Australian Tax Office recently bust a place that had 18,000, cigarettes and claim that as some kind of a victory. So the enforcement side of this is simply not going to cut it. There does need to be a reduction in excise, probably back to the levels that we saw before this got completely off the chain around 2019. And that simply has to happen. Otherwise, this situation is going to continue to get worse and worse till it implodes in on itself.
John Trezise is the head of corporate and regulatory affairs for British American Tobacco. Thank you for joining us.
I agree. We're going to get the excise under control, but it does feel like a case of trying to unscramble an egg now, doesn't it? We've trained people to get it incredibly cheap.
Well, I think part of the problem is that the counter-argument against the when you criticise prohibition, like we've had Andrea Michaels on the show a couple of times, and she said, well, if you look at Europe, Western Europe, where cigarettes are a lot cheaper, they're having problems with illegal tobacco too. That's actually like an argument against the problem in Australia, because if that's true, if it's true that let's say Spain, maybe a packet of smokes costs you €7, but an illegal packet might cost you €4. So if the excise, now that it's gone so far off the charts, if it's halved in Australia, by the minister's own argument, we're still going to have that public appetite for illegals.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But also, just the fact that there is illegal tobacco elsewhere shouldn't be an argument against not having it run the entire industry here in Australia. When the private illegal component is saying it's worse here than anywhere else, we've kind of got to look at ourselves, don't we, and ask why. In a society that otherwise is very law-abiding, with low criminality, we've normalised this criminal behaviour.
I must admit, I did have a quiet chuckle, though, seeing one of, and it wasn't John Trezise, it was somebody else from one of the tobacco companies saying they're worried about the way these cigarettes are made.
They wouldn't want anyone to get hurt.
Yeah, I know. Hey, you be careful doing that.
Stephen Ryan on 5AA Breakfast.
All right, let's talk about the weekend that was in sport. Stephen Rowe joins us on 5AA Breakfast. Rowie, good morning to you.
Oh, Pemmo, Will, good morning. Yeah, the 36ers won, Reds lost. Lightning got their first game up against the Capitals. The Crows are into the finals. Port have got dress-ups today for Mad Monday. But I want to talk about the 165th Melbourne Cup, which is tomorrow. Now, most of SA, or the smart money, is going to be on the number 14 horse. Half yours. I tell you why. It's ridden by star SA jockey Jamie Mellon, knee car. It won the Caulfield Cup. It's in great form. It's coming out of the Perfect Barrier 8. I know it's a $6.50 favourite, but it also loves the wet. The other thing is, it's trained by South Australian father-son pair Tony and Calvin. There's a lot of reasons to like this. There's a lot of reasons for SA for this horse to get up, don't you think?
Mate, I wouldn't know one end of a horse from another.
well, nor do I. And I'm trying to sound like an absolute genius here. But I had a look. The Caulfield Cup, Melbourne Cup double, is that a sighter? Well, it maybe is, but only 12 horses have done it. The last one was Without a Fight. You would have known that, and Might and Power. You've heard of Let's Elope. These are just the best horses. So if it's the 165th Melbourne Cup, that happens every 14 years. So don't have that as a sighter. Have the fact that it is in good form. It's in the Perfect Barrier. It loves the wet, can travel the distance, got a great jockey on the back. So here's what I'm doing. I always do this. I've done it last year, the year before with you guys. Here are my 4 horses. All if you box trifecta these, you might be around the mark, and let's hope you are. So 14 is half yours. I love Buckaroo. In the Everest, it came second. This is a great horse. 21 River of Stars. It's the French horse. It's trained by Chris Waller, and he's always around the mark. The top weight, our Riffer, I put in there 1. So 14, 2, 21 and 1. Remember, 18 of the last 25 Melbourne Cups have been won by a Northern Hemisphere horse. So I've got 2 in and 2 out. So let's see how we go, hey? 14, do I sound like a perfect?
You do, mate. You sound like you know what you're talking about.
You have us convinced.
Yeah.
14... 2, 21 and 1. Don't gamble responsibly. Load the hell up. It's the one day a year where punters like me think we know everything, and I know jack squat.
That was very convincing, though, Rowie.
I know.
You sounded like you'd actually researched this.
No, well, I have a bit. Jamie Carr, or Jamie Mellum, she is a star jockey. There's only been one lady jockey or woman jockey win a Melbourne Cup. We know that, Michelle Payne. They made a movie about it. She is a star. The McAvoy father-son team, Tony and Calvin, they are just taking all before them. They won the Melbourne Cup. I heard from connections, if they had paid $1 million to win the $10 million Melbourne Cup and picked a barrier, they would have paid for barrier 8, and it loves the wet. Put down your glasses. It's not even a race. They're just going to, come on, Jamie!
You're making a compelling case, Rowie. Mind you, we don't know any. We can't critically pick it apart because we know nothing about it. So that all sounded excellent.
We'll check in on Wednesday morning and see how Rowie went with
Rowie Stradamus.
Quaddy. What's it called?
A quaddie.
A quaddie. Is that what it is?
No, quaddie's when you
trifecta.
That's a trifecta. A quaddie's when you pick the winners of 4 races, I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
No, I don't know anything about it.
We should talk about these things.
He said to put that trifecta in a box, though. So
all right.
Do that.
5AA news time. Back shortly.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 16 today with the 7:30 news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Physio Extra for Locomat robotic technology treating stroke, cerebral palsy, brain and spinal cord injuries. Visit physioextra.com.
Year 12 exams officially kick off today. Education Minister Blair Boyer says they run for 10 days.
We're starting with maths methods and general maths, and we finish with geography and music studies on November the 14th, and that will wind up with students getting their SAFE results on the 15th of December.
A report is being prepared for the coroner after a fatal crash at Goodwood. A car went into a tree on Goodwood Road. The 73-year-old driver was taken to hospital for treatment but later passed away. He may have suffered a medical episode prior to the crash. His passenger escaped with minor injuries. British police are still piecing together what sparked a mass stabbing attack on a train in eastern England, but say there is nothing to suggest it is terror-related. Of the 9 people initially taken to hospital with life-threatening injuries, 4 have been discharged, 2 remain critical. A 32-year-old man is being treated as the sole suspect. This passenger says people were trying to run and do what they could to stay safe.
I got a metro train because I was so scared and petrified myself, and I wanted to protect myself. And then leaving the train, the conductor managed to open it. The other conductor got stabbed.
The Optus boss will appear before a parliamentary inquiry in Canberra today to answer questions about its 000 outage. Hundreds of customers were unable to dial the emergency number in September, leading to the loss of at least 3 lives. Optus says human error is mainly to blame, following a botched firewall upgrade which knocked out the system. Australia's illegal tobacco cartel has joined forces with a mysterious Chinese crime gang to infiltrate and control the local vape market. More from Carolee Katsambanis.
A $4.5 million stash of more than 115,000 Chinese-made Alibaba vapes were destined to be pushed into hundreds of shops across the nation. SMH The Age reporting a tip-off led Australia's Border Force finding them inside one of thousands of steel boxes on a container ship intercepted on the docks of Sydney's International Container Terminal. The illicit vapes marked down on customs paperwork as furniture. 3 more containers also removed, again packed with this new Chinese-made product that has swamped the Australian market in the past year and become one of the most common vapes available.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Be the first to test drive the all-new Mitsubishi ASX at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Australian batsman Tim David has unleashed a record-breaking 6 in last night's T20 loss to India. David belted a delivery from spinner Axar Patel, 129 metres, which is the longest recorded 6 in T20 international history. The ball almost clearing Ninja Stadium in Hobart. Here's the call on Fox Cricket.
Come on. That's coming into the commentary box. Straight down the ground. There's 2 men watching it sail deep. Well, he's got a catch there, June. It was nearly in the Darwin.
Meantime, India's women have claimed the one-day World Cup after a 52-run win against South Africa. To football, the Crows have locked in another finals berth after holding on for a 12-point win against Fremantle at home. The result means Adelaide finishes in 6th and will host St Kilda in an elimination final next Sunday, which will again be played at Norwood Oval. The Adelaide 36ers have recorded their 6th win of the season after hanging on for a thrilling 2-point win against the Illawarra Hawks. The Sixers have cemented 3rd spot in the process. To soccer now, Erling Haaland's impressive season's continued, scoring twice to help his Manchester City to a 3-1 win at home against Bournemouth.
Tricky first time. Different angle of the run from Haaland to try and stay onside. And he brushes off Diakite. What a finish from Erling Haaland! The pace, the power.
He's been very good. Audio thanks to Stan Sport, his 13th goal this Premier League season. That result lifts City to 2nd on the table, while West Ham won just its 2nd game for the season after a crucial 3-1 win at home against Newcastle. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Get some support at home with ACH Group, because a little help can be a big help.
Morning there. A few passing showers. Take it easy on the drive this morning. Brooklyn Park got a 2-car smash to look out for Marion Road and Henley Beach Road. A little bit slow. South Road, Karata Park getting a little busy. Brighton Road, Glenelg East with the camera today. West Beach Road, West Beach. New 40-kilometre speed limits apply near some schools that drop off and pick up times from November. Always look for the speed limit signs. Find out more at dit.sa.gov.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA weather.
Staycation for a vacation? Stay with CMAX. Visit cmax.com.au to sign up today.
Showers for your Monday, a top of 16, a shower or two tomorrow 17, Wednesday partly cloudy 21, then Thursday a shower or two 27. Right now it's 11 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
A new battery rebate is here and it's a game changer. The Cheaper Home Batteries program with NRG Solar makes smart storage more affordable than ever. Eligible homes and small businesses can save thousands and households could slash power bills by up to 90% with a solar and battery combo. NRG Solar will guide you through and lock in the rebate before the masses catch on. Head to nrgsolar.com.au or call 1300 858 160. Don't wait. The smart move is to act now.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months. At FIVEAA Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, FIVEAA Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for FIVEAA Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
Now, you wouldn't put your shoes on before your pants, and apparently women don't put on their lipstick before their foundation. But at Lifestyles Lonsdale, it's best to do the last thing first. Pick your tiles.
Lifestyles has every size, every style, all at prices that mean you don't have to compromise. So let the tile that you love inspire the design of your bathroom or kitchen. If you're renovating, looking for inspiration, or you're a tradie looking to get the job done, there's over 60 years of experience in the Lifestyles team, so you can trust their expert service and advice.
Whether you're becoming an empty nester or simply want to update your home to add value, do the last bit first and start with your tiles. For designer tiles at warehouse prices, choose Lifestyles Lonsdale.
Still thinking about a sea change? Think Oakford Homes in Counter Bay. New stage released and selling fast. A variety of block sizes available in a friendly community with brand new low maintenance homes plus the beach close by. Affordable packages, no surprises. Move in now or invest for the future. Fixed price turnkey packages, flat land ready to build. Don't miss out. New stage now released. Visit our display village at Encounter Bay. Oakford Homes, a statement of quality. oakfordhomes.com.au.
Your old hot water system can drive as much as 40% of your energy bill. Fortunately, you can upgrade to something that's 70% cheaper to run thanks to Right Price. They're the leaders in heat pumps and installation. Now's the time to upgrade and save money on a more efficient hot water system and take advantage of government incentives and free installation. Reduce your energy costs today with a heat pump from Right Price. Make the switch with Right Price Hot Water.
At Right Price, heating and cooling, you can get the price right at Right Price.
When you're gone, who gets the things most precious to you? Like your grandfather's war medals or your mother's cherished piano that was passed down to you. If you don't have a will, you'll never know. Donlan Lawyers specialise in wills and estate planning. From the simplest to the most complex, Donlan Lawyers will give effect to your wishes. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com, Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide, and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour. donlanlawyers.com.
Summer's on the way. Beat the rush and organise your Walco pool blanket now. Keep your pool clean, warm and reduce evaporation. Uncover the savings with a Walco pool blanket. Visit walco.com.au.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
20 minutes to 8. What are you chuckling about?
I'm chuckling about the fact that a whole bunch of people on the police home care text line have just texted in saying that they're changing their tips in the cup on account of Rowi's predictions.
Oh, dear.
Someone pointed out that apparently, what was his horse, number 14? He said, Phil in Henley Beach, he said, don't pay any attention to Rowi's tips. Buckaroo came second in the Cox Plate, not the Everest.
Rowi's not going to let facts get in the way of a good
exactly.
tip.
And Will in Goodwood says, Pembo, your knowledge of horses is like my knowledge of cheese. When I was younger, my girlfriend said to me, this cheese has got mould on it, so I put it in the bin. I didn't know this brie was meant to have a skin on it. I'm chucking it out. Good on you, Will.
All right, keep your thoughts coming through, or your derision of Rowie. 048081395. You can take it. Police home care text line. I tell you what, who's fed up? It's our correctional services workers. They've had in the space of a week 2 vicious assaults. One at the Adelaide Women's Prison that left a correctional officer in hospital. Now, the most recent incident involved 9 inmates attacking another one in a centre that was designed for rehab. And correctional services officers saying, well, the reason these things happen is because there's not enough of us. We're not funded well enough. We're not working in conditions that are safe and conducive to keeping not just the staff safe, but the other people that are there. Craig Yates is the PSA Vice President and Correctional Liaison Officer and joins us now. Craig, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Will. How are you?
We're good, thanks, Craig. This must be a real concern for your members because, you know, it's within the space of 2 weeks, there's now been 2 very serious incidents, one in the women's prison and now this one.
Absolutely. It is very concerning indeed. These sort of incidents are becoming very regular, and the amount of force used by these prisoners these days, it's getting increasingly more violent and definitely causes a safety issue at the site.
So what sort of feedback have you had from the Corrections Department and also from the new minister about it, Craig?
Yeah, so I myself worked in corrections as an officer for 18 years. I'm actually currently still in the job. I'm on secondment at the PSA. We've met with the new minister, Rhiannon Pearce. We've actually had 4 ministers since Labor's been in power. So, there seems to be a high turnover as they keep shuffling the decks.
4?
We've had 4 correctional ministers.
In less than 4 years?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, so you just feel like you start to get somewhere with it, and then there's another shuffle. So it kind of feels like you're back to the drawing board again.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do constantly call on the department, and we've met with Rhiannon Pearce to discuss this. She seems open to discussion and has actually asked us to present a document on what we're seeking regarding staffing.
Yeah. Geez, it must be a full-on job. And it's interesting talking to you, mate, as I know you're the union guy, but you are a prison guard yourself. Can you answer something for me? I actually know some people who were on a visit to the women's prison the other day, completely unrelated, and they were there when it went into lockdown when that woman was attacked, and they said it was just completely terrifying. Is it true that guards aren't actually armed at all? So there's like a separate standalone security team within jails, but the actual, when you're working as a warden, that you're not armed yourself. Is that right?
Yeah, the correctional officers have handcuffs and they have radios, but as far as armed, there's certainly no firearms, there's no tasers, nothing like that at all. They do a control restraint defensive training, which is just very basic. Other than that, there is an emergency response group when things do get out of hand.
Yeah, sure.
But in the short term, when something's actually unfolding, you're kind of left to your devices and, tactical communications and that sort of thing.
Wow. What an amazing way to make a living. Have you guys are you in a pay stink with the government at the moment, or is your EBA sorted out?
Yeah, we sure are. Our correctional officers are the lowest paid in the country at the moment. Well, they're paid as low as $58,000. That's the starting rate. And you know, for the job that they're doing, it's basically poverty wages. Low pay means that we can't attract staff or keep them when we get them. So certainly doesn't help make the place any safer when there's a high turnover.
Yeah, for sure. Good chatting to you, Craig. Craig Bates, the PSA Vice President and Correctional Liaison. I was really annoyed the way things take on a life of their own on Facebook, where people don't listen to conversations. They just look at a link and comment. You know that chat we had with Elizabeth DeBars, where I think quite rightly we asked her about the tactical wisdom of industrial action that would result in elective surgery being cancelled. At the same time, in the context of the same conversation, saying nurses are underpaid, nurses deserve a pay rise, the government needs to listen to nurses because nurses are awesome. That Facebook post, this is the death of nuanced and thoughtful conversation on social media, has become listen to this bastard who hates nurses. No, we love nurses. We absolutely love nurses. We just didn't think that it was right to let Elizabeth DeBars off the hook with her pretty, I thought, blasé explanation where she said, well, elective surgery gets cancelled all the time. I was like, well, yes. So why risk cancelling more operations? Why risk when you're in the box seat in a PR sense, because everybody loves nurses, why risk making yourselves the story? Surely there's other ways to do it.
Unfortunately, I think you're peeing into the wind on that one.
Completely.
One of the
you just think,
great shames of social media is
get stuffed.
Having read or engaged with something isn't a gateway to having the ability to comment on it any longer.
But when you explicitly say nurses deserve more money and better conditions and we support their campaign, except we've got one key question about your tactics as the union chief. No. Let's just, it's like, remember the old vaudeville play where the guy with the black hat would come out and the piano music would start and the crowd would either boo or cheer? Like, that's what social media is. It's a place devoid of thought.
Well, and also we live in an environment now where if you express one reservation to any point of view, you've forsaken it or betrayed your true views.
Yeah. I think too, though, the media, the mainstream media is partially to blame for this because we'll put a post up going, listen to this tense exchange between
that's true.
the journo and the nurses union chief, but then no one listens to it. They just comment on it.
Oh, yeah. we cop that a bit, I think.
Click go the shears.
We're going to speak.
A time to be alive.
We're going to speak after the break with regard to the Liberals' new policy that would see a one-strike policy. You stuff up on bail, you don't get it again. The law will. They've got a catchy turn of phrase on this one with regard to the one-strike rule that we'll get from Vincent Tarzia very, very shortly. But I reckon our listeners are going to like the sound of it. Can they make it work? Because we've heard people talk tough on crime before and it hasn't materialised in actually people going back to jail. But we'll find out with Vincent Tarzia very shortly. Let's check traffic first, though. Get an outfit that will stop traffic at a great price with Peter Shearer Menswear.
Morning there. Roads are wet in a few areas with passing showers to take it nice and easy. Brooklyn Park, a two-car collision. Marion Road at Henley Beach Road. Penfield, delays from earlier motorcycle crash on the north-south motorway near Walmer Road. Getting busy Marion Road at Marion with a camera at Brooker Terrace at Richmond. At Spotlight, save a massive 50% off a huge selection across the store. Sale on now. Discounts applied to regular product prices. T's and C's apply. See website for details. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Go Vita, your local health food shops. With 40 years health and wellness experience and over 300 natural health practitioners specialising in you.
Hi, I'm Yvonne from Go Vita Marion. NutriVital Beauty Collagen with hydrolyzed marine collagen peptides helps maintain healthy-looking skin when consumed as part of a balanced diet. NutriVital Beauty Collagen, 155 grams, now $35.50. Save 50%.
Go Vita, Colonnades, Fairview Green, Marion, Mount Barker, Semaphore and Tanunda.
Some swear jars collect coins, but at Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, their swear jar collects promises.
I'm Laura. I swear to help bring your thoughts and design ideas to life, just how you envisioned them, or better.
Hi, I'm Rick the plumber. I swear to always be on time and clean up after myself.
Hi, I'm Renette, a designer. I swear to listen to your ideas and help create a functional space for you.
For a team that swears to deliver on quality and service, see Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, Adelaide's home renovation experts.
Introducing the Caliente by Beechwood Homes. A multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Inspired by the effortless glamour of Palm Springs in California, it's bathed in natural light through clever architectural design. At its heart, a stunning 6-metre island bench anchors a kitchen that's as beautiful as it is functional. The Caliente is open for viewing at 10 Simon Crescent, Craigburn Farm, Saturdays and Sundays 1 to 4:30pm. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
Don't just get a forklift. Get a Toyota forklift. Right now, Toyota Material Handling is having a clear out of 2024 and 25 plated forklifts. Score great deals across a selected range of new Toyota forklifts, counterbalance and reach forklifts, walkie stackers and more. So if it's 24 or 25 plated, get a great Toyota forklift deal. For more, visit toyotamaterialhandling.com.au. Get a Toyota. T's and C's apply. Offer ends December 31.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. For fixed price services, call Precise.
For a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
Hi, I'm Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. Spring has traditionally been the peak time for selling your home. As the gardens bloom, so too do buyer numbers. But while demand is high, stock levels remain at historic lows. That means more competition for the homes on the market and a greater chance of achieving a premium result for your property. At Toop and Toop, our experience, local knowledge and negotiation expertise give you the edge when it matters most. Visit toop.com.au to find out more.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
8 to 8, little break in the clouds as we look over to the east at the moment, but it's going to be a wet and cloudy sort of a day here in Adelaide. It was pretty gloomy last week when the conversation all week was about how to best deal with youth offending. We spoke to a series of hoteliers and liquor store owners who were fed up with the fact that they've had to take matters into their own hands, closing when people get off buses, installing CCTV, staff that are routinely attacked, and frustratingly, it seemed to be the same cohort of offenders, people who were out on bail, seemingly going about committing crimes with impunity. Well, the Libs are planning to introduce a new policy called Break Bail, Face Jail, which I reckon most law-abiding people imagine that was how it would work.
How it should work.
That's it. Well, it's just not how it does work.
Well, bail's like a contract. You're on like a behavioural contract. It should have repercussions if you've breached the terms of that contract, should it not?
They're going to achieve it by rewriting Section 10A of the Bail Act, which covers, quote, discretion exercisable by the bail authority. Vincent Tarzia is the leader of the opposition. Vincent Tarzia, good morning to you. Does that mean,
good morning, David. Good morning, Will,
rescinding the board's discretion?
Well, that's definitely something we're willing to look at. What we want to do if we're elected to government is introduce these tough new laws to put community safety first. And firstly, gold standard early intervention, because we do accept sometimes there is an opportunity to try and turn these people's lives around early. But if you break your bail, as you pointed out, you're going to jail. And we want to be really tough on that because we've seen a a 50% increase in youth crime the last few years, and we've seen 60% breaches of bail since 2021. And when we were out at one of the bottle-os on the weekend, I spoke to an operator who basically said, sometimes he does fear for his life. And it's the same repeat offenders. So we want to crack down on these people. And I think the community are just sick of it, especially in the summer months. As the weather gets warmer, people are out and about. People are just sick and tired of seeing this sort of thing happen in our streets.
How do you make sure that the judge, like if you legislate for this change, if you amend the Bail Act, Vincent Tarzia, will the judiciary still have discretion to sort of go meh, whatever, and do whatever they like? Which seems to happen a bit.
Good question. Without getting too far in the weeds, what we want to do is we want to amend the Bail Act so that an offender, now that can be a youth offender or an adult offender, who is out on bail for a serious offence, they commit another serious offence, they'll go to jail. So what we want to do is effectively reverse the presumption. So basically, not that you would do this, but if you offended and you report it in, there is almost like a presumption for certain offences that you actually would get bail. We want to reverse that presumption, and especially when it comes to serious offences like murder, manslaughter, serious assault, serious criminal trespass, drug offences, property offences, etc. We want to reverse the presumption to make sure that unless there is an extreme exception, these guys who have already offended and are already on bail, if they commit a serious offence, they are going to jail. They are not going to be let out in the community, and that is a tough line stance, and I know that it has ruffled some feathers, especially in the legal fraternity.
So the Attorney General, with regard to the state government's policy on this, they want to make it a 3 strikes and you're out approach to young offences, but that will apply to people aged 14 or older. Will your break bail, go to jail policy apply to people under the age of 14?
Absolutely. So the government's legislation still requires the youth offender to be a recidivist young offender, which means that as a youth offender, if they've committed 3 separate serious offences or 2 serious sexual offences, they would need to commit a 4th serious offence for that new bail law to apply. We think that's too much. We think the community thinks that's too much. And if judges think that, they're losing a bit of discretion there, well, tough, because the community are sick and tired of these people running rampant in our streets.
Opposition Leader Vincent Tarzia, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
We're getting feedback. This state government summer plan dining cashback website where you can register to get a 50% cashback up to a maximum of $50 at participating coastal dining locations and seafood retailers. The ballot's now open. First draw is on Monday, November 10, but apparently the website's quite clunky and it keeps saying every time people apply, we've had quite a few texts from people saying their application is instantly rejected. Carol and Semaphore, and a couple of others as well. So might be a bit of a glitch there.
All right, we might try and apply over the course of the news break and see if we can get it working. Lighting. See if there's a problem. That's right. Well, we won't cash it in, but we'll see if there's an issue with the website now. We've never had a meal
together, have we? Just the 2 of us.
Just the 2 of us? Well, that'd be a bit old, wouldn't it?
No, I'm not saying we're going out to, bistro francais with a red rose on the table. I'm just saying like a countery or
we've gone out for drinks.
Yeah, we're going out for drinks. Or maybe this is our big chance, Will. Seafood. Can we go to Luca's? Luca's is good. I love that restaurant.
Well, let's find out before let's start committing to dates. Let's find out if the website works, shall we? Breaking at 8 coming up next.
In a legal battle, who you choose matters. I'm Ben Thilthorpe from BTD Lawyers. We've recently been named a first-tier criminal defence firm in Doyle's Guide for the 10th year in a row, with 4 of our lawyers individually recognised for excellence. We're trusted, respected and results-driven. From minor charges to complex criminal cases and defendant intervention orders, we deliver expert advice and real outcomes. Barbara Thilthorpe Daniel Lawyers, award-winning defence when it matters most. Visit btdlawyers.au.
SA's biggest cover-up is about to be uncovered. Who's at the centre of it? Walco, of course. Summer is on its way. Time to think about waking up your sleepy pool and getting set for good times. Beat the rush now and organise your Walco pool blanket. It'll keep your pool clean and warm all summer. Plus, stop evaporation. Uncover the savings now with a Walco pool blanket. Visit walco.com.au today.
Australia's Cheaper Home Batteries program is here, and it's your chance to save thousands on a new home battery system. With up to 30% off a battery installation, NRG Solar can help you claim rebates worth up to $18,500.
Whether you're adding a battery to existing solar or starting from scratch, now is the time to act. NRG Solar, they're great people to deal with. They're ready to help you maximise your savings. And yes, systems installed from now are eligible.
NRG Solar are the local experts. They'll guide you through your options and help you lock in the rebate. Visit nrgsolar.com.au or call 1300 858 160 and get ready for lower bills and real energy independence. That's 1300 858 160.
Get away safely with a new set of Falcon ZX ZE310R passenger car or CT60 SUV tyres. Buy 3 and get 1 free. Only at Tyre Power. Safer tyres means a safer holiday getaway. Visit tyrepower.com.au.
The news and information that matters. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 16 today with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Mel Usher.
Hands you can trust and state-of-the-art facilities. Physio Extra, tailoring care for you. physioextra.com.
More than 13,000 SAFE students will start their final exams today. The first subject is mathematical methods at 9 a.m. The exams will end with geography and music studies on November 14. Education Minister Blair Boyer wishing everyone exam success.
I wish all those students all the best. I know there'll be a lot of nerves today, not just from those undertaking exams, but their parents and family members and those teachers who've done all the work to prepare them for the exam as well.
Seafood retailers across SA can now participate in the Dining Cashback initiative. Consumer Affairs Minister Andrea Michaels says from today people can apply to get up to $50 off their seafood purchases.
We want to encourage people to go out and buy fresh seafood and cook at home, so they'll be able to qualify if they get one of these vouchers for up to $50 off not only our coastal restaurants and cafes but also our seafood retailers right across the state that register.
It's part of the algal bloom recovery package. An inquiry into the Optus 000 failure is about to get underway at Parliament House in Canberra. More from Michael Packey.
Optus Chief Executive Stephen Rue will appear before today's 3-hour hearing that's been established by the opposition. He'll be asked about the telco systems after hundreds of customers were unable to dial 000 in September. The catastrophic incident is linked to the deaths of at least 3 people. Optus says an internal investigation is underway but claims human error during a firewall upgrade is mainly to blame for the outage. The opposition argues the government also has questions to answer about what it knew and when, with the inquiry set to hear from the telecommunications watchdog over its handling of the matter.
The Nationals say they'll work with the Liberals on climate and energy policy after formally abandoning support for net zero emissions by 2050. The Liberals are still working on a policy position in the fallout from the federal election. Nationals leader David Littleproud says he won't be telling the coalition colleagues what they should be doing.
We just let each party work through their own processes. I work and give respect to our coalition partner in a constructive way. And what we've done was bring forward a constructive policy about looking at net zero differently.
The 32-year-old man is being treated as the sole suspect in a stabbing attack that occurred on board a London-bound train. More from Mimi Becker.
Police say there's nothing to suggest that this was a terror attack, but the motivation is still being investigated. The train bound for King's Cross, London, was forced to make an emergency stop in Huntingdon after the stabbing spree on board. 9 people were initially thought to be critically injured. One, a train staff member, is still fighting for their life. The male employee recognised for trying to intervene and stop the attack, while witnesses have recounted their fear, forced to hide on board in the bathrooms as others ran carriage to carriage to try and get away. A second man has been released without charge.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Be the first to test drive the all-new Mitsubishi ASX at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you for that, Mel. Adelaide has celebrated Anne Hatchard's 100th AFLW game in style, recording a narrow 12-point win against Fremantle. And in the process, they have locked in another finals berth. Hatchard booted the sealer with only a few minutes to play and admits it was a relief to get the job done.
Yeah, it was good fun. I think we loved the pressure and, coming to that last game pretty tight. It was, nice to just get out there and get it done. So, thrilled.
Fox. The Crows will now take on St Kilda in a knockout final on Sunday, which will also be played at Norwood Oval. Well, Australia has gone down to India by 5 wickets in the third T20 clash in Hobart overnight. It means the best-of-5 series is now locked at 1 game apiece after Game 1 was washed out. Meantime, India are the Women's One Day World Cup champions following a 52-run win against South Africa in the final. The home fans lapping up the nation's first ever World Cup triumph for their women.
Brilliantly taken! A victory that will ignite a nation!
Yeah, amazing scenes. Audio thanks to Prime. Well, the Adelaide 36ers players will recover today following yesterday's thrilling 2-point win against the Illawarra Hawks. The Sixers next take on the New Zealand Breakers in New Zealand on Thursday night. Final preparations today ahead of tomorrow's Melbourne Cup, which will be run at Flemington. Jamie Mellon will be on board the favourite, Half Yours. Adelaide United's women have lost their season opener to the reigning champions, the Central Coast Mariners, 3-0. Meantime, there were 2 games in the English Premier League. Manchester City 3-1 winners at home against Bournemouth, while West Ham also had a 3-1 win against Newcastle. Yannick Sinner has returned to the world number 1 ranking on the men's side after winning the Paris Masters tournament with a straight sets win. Meantime, Kim Birrell has fallen agonisingly short of a maiden WTA title after losing the final of the Chennai Open. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Get some support at home with ACH Group because a little help can be a big help.
Morning there at Brooklyn Park. Delays clearing from an earlier 2-car smash, Marion Road at Henley Beach Road. Penfield, residual delays from an earlier motorcycle crash. This one's on the north-south motorway near Walmer Road. Busy at the moment, South Road, Edwardstown, little slow, Main North Road at Enfield with a camera this morning. West Beach Road, West Beach. Make every journey memorable in a Mercedes-Benz. Drive away in the A200 Hatch Special Edition for $58,815. Visit Mercedes-Benz Adelaide and Unley today. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Staycation for a vacation? Stay with CMAX. Visit cmax.com.au to sign up today.
16 with showers today, a shower or 2 tomorrow 17, then Wednesday partly cloudy 21, Thursday a shower or 2 27. Right now it's 12 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Every bathroom comes with a dark side. Mould. It sneaks into grout. But what if it had nothing to sneak into? What if you chose Mr. Wet Wall instead of tiles for your bathroom and wet areas? It costs less and there's no scrubbing grout. Because with Mr. Wet Wall, there is no grout. Just a smooth, stylish surface, easy to clean and stunning to look at. So why wouldn't you, Mr. Wet Wall? MrWetWall.com.
Streaming live via the 5AA Player app on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. This is 5AA, always Adelaide.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
7 after 8, good morning to you if you're just joining us on 5AA Breakfast. The sun's out, actually. At the moment, it looks like it's going to be an entirely reasonable day.
Yeah,
so
good.
Maybe we won't get near that high mark of potentially 25 millimetres of rain. I think out of respect to our colleague and friend Stephen Rowe, we're not going to read the texts on the police home care text line that are fact-checking the stuff, that are fact-checking the things that underpinned his Melbourne Cup tips tomorrow, because it turns out, look, let's be fair, there was probably a couple of factual errors in terms of who had won what and where they placed, and maybe whether any of them actually have ever been involved in horse racing. But
punting.
Exactly.
Makes as much sense as anything anyone else
I thought it was
offering.
an entertaining segment.
It was a great segment.
Turns out.
Rick and Aldinga Beach, he said, at least he didn't play Can You Feel It about number 14 coming home.
Hey, now, in a more serious sense, on the police home care text line, Carolyn sent us a message saying she's had no luck with regard to the dining cashback ballot that the state government have put out. So what we committed to doing over the break was running some tests to see could we get a dining cashback or could we get on the ballot that the state government are running, of course, to support algal bloom affected businesses. Well, we had mixed success. Paddy was able to log on and get through, registered a ballot, no problem. M got the error message that Caroline did, the exactly same one, saying, unfortunately, your submission was unsuccessful. Now, I don't know if it's part of the vetting program for how they're doing it, but it just appears like an error message on the screen. So it just, in terms of the user experience, it feels like something is awry, and we can't work out why, because it just used the two computers in our producer's booth and got two wildly different
Could be demand.
outcomes. Mate,
is it? I don't know. It doesn't feel like it would be demand.
You just got it to work. Literally just got it to work then. So, okay, maybe the message here is, Caroline, keep persisting and you will eventually get through. 8223 is our number. You can text us to on the Police Home Care text line 0448 08 1395. It's time for Breaking at 8.
Well, it's more than 12 months since he left politics. David Spears, the former leader of the South Australian Liberal Party and also a very highly regarded environment minister in the Marshall government. Well, it is in that space, the environment, where David Spears has spent the last few months doing what I think is some actually genuinely interesting work. Overnight, David Spears has released a 29-page document. He's put it up on Facebook. It's headed Ideas for Recovery, Transforming Crisis into Opportunity, Responding to South Australia's Algal Bloom Disaster. And it's something which is the Hallett Cove-based former member for Black, people in that electorate have had a front row seat for the terrible impact of the bloom over the last 6 months or so. We've got David Spears on the line now. David, good morning, and good to be chatting to you again after several months where we haven't spoken. What was your motivation for doing this? Obviously, I mentioned the hat you used to wear as Environment Minister. It's a passion of yours, but this is quite an interesting body of work, I think.
Well, good morning, David and Will, and good morning to your listeners as well. And it's evening here because, for full disclosure, I'm in windswept southern Scotland today, attending a friend's wedding here over the weekend. But
I'm going to say, if you were still the Liberal leader, we'd be ripping into you about that.
Yeah, you would, but I'm not a public figure anymore, so you can't. It's very good to be here. But South Australia's still home, everyone. Look, I've put this body of work together because, the environment and the coast is one of the reasons I stepped into public life in the first place. It's one of the reasons I ran for Marion Council way back in 2010. And I've, like many residents along, not just Adelaide's coastline, but the whole coastline around the state, have watched with a sense of heartbreak as this algal bloom has unfolded. And look, it's happened. And I almost think we need to say to ourselves, well, it has happened, but how can we pivot disaster to opportunity? And I think there has been a fair bit of silence or a lack of discussion, a lack of debate, a lack of conversation with regard to what recovery looks like. There's been rightfully economic packages to support small businesses. We need that. We need more of that. There's been work around our fisheries and the like. But what does the future look like? We've probably lost 10 to 20 years worth of species out there. How can we turbocharge recovery? What does that look like? How can South Australia become an absolute world leader in coastal management and come out of this a year, 5 years, 10 years from now with incredible environmental outcomes? So I've used my experience as Environment Minister, my networks, to put together this document to stimulate conversation. It doesn't have all of the answers, but hopefully it starts shifting the discussion in that direction. Government's done a little bit of work in this, and I'm not wanting to get overly political here, but I just don't think that direction has been pursued enough. We've got to give people hope.
One thing I think is interesting, and I know that when you're Environment Minister and setting party politics aside, a lot of people down south really are still eternally grateful for the opening up of all of that land around O'Halloran Hill as is it Glenthorne? What's the name of it again?
Glenthorne National Park.
Glenthorne. Yeah. So that was new. So this document sort of picks up that approach where you're talking about things like how do we grow our seagrass meadows, or how do we rewild offshore islands to make them pristine, wild, natural states where people are going to be interested in going out and seeing them, opening up more space for recreation at places like Mount Bold Reservoir. Like there's a lot of just interesting ideas in it, I reckon.
Well, yeah, I wanted to do pitch practical things, practical ideas, things that you can get big bang for your buck in the environment. I always found like the environment sits sort of sometimes at the bottom of the rank when it comes to investment from Treasury. But when you do get a little bit of money, you can drag it a great distance. You know, seagrass meadow restoration, the restoration of shellfish reefs offshore. You know, you could put a few $1 million a year into that sort of stuff and get big bang for your buck. And, you know, you can sequester carbon there, create habitat, create recreational opportunities, create fishing grounds for people. I put in that document opening up Mount Bold Reservoir for on-water access. That work has been largely done and could be rolled out in a matter of months. I know it was done. I was the minister when it was done. That would add another large fishing space to the fishing network across our reservoirs. Mount Bold, I think it's 46 gigalitres from memory. It's the largest reservoir in the state. And it could be opened relatively easily. I think Nick Champion's the minister responsible for SA Water now, so maybe he could put that in his to-do list. But that could be transformational, and there's just lots of these projects sitting out there. Bits of work have been done on them, and it wouldn't take that much investment to really turbocharge them and pivot towards recovery. Because I know in the community I live in, that Hallett Cove through to Seacliff district, people are at a loss, they're heartbroken, and they don't have much hope around where this is going, and I don't think it would take that much to head in that direction.
David Spears, is this document your springboard back into politics?
Well, I'm not surprised you asked that question. Look, I'm not making a commitment about the direction I'll take my career in the future. I've said to you previously that I don't feel that I'm done in terms of public service. There's different ways that you can do that. But I guess I'm in a pretty good place at the moment in terms of my mental and physical health, and I'm just looking for ways to contribute.
It just looks like a handy document that somebody might want to have in their back pocket in the event that they were, say, running as an independent candidate in the seat of Black in about 6 months' time.
I'll let you have that speculation today,
All righty. David Spears joining us for what I thought was a really interesting breaking at 8. Thank you, David.
Thank you.
It is interesting. It's very schmick. You can see
it's
it
an
on
impressive
Facebook.
looking document.
Yeah, a lot of work's gone into it, and I don't know.
Well,
he
was a impressive environment minister in the Marshall government. He was a non-ideological but passionate environment minister, and that's kind of hard to find. And you look at that document, you listen to David Spears speak.
He gives a you know what about it, doesn't he?
He genuinely cares.
Because in a profession that sometimes sounds like it's had a collective sincerity bypass, where people sort of are responsive to crises and, you know, come on the radio to try to hose things down and whatever. Like, this is just sort of left field thinking. And interesting, the government's paying attention. Some government sources have been texting me saying, well, look, there's a whole bunch of stuff in this that is in the summer plan, like seagrass and shellfish reefs and all of that. And I'd know, be more worried about him running, the Libs or Labor. But how would he go? How would he go?
Well, I think he'd probably do pretty well. I still think you only need to come second.
Yeah.
As the independent.
What margin is Alex Dutton on there?
In Black.
Can't remember off the top of my head. I'd be guessing.
We can look it up.
I think it's comfortable though. But that was a volatile set of circumstances. What was it, last October when we were down there at that wonderful cafe on the foreshore near the Hallett Cove Walk? That was great fun, that OB, wasn't it?
Well, you can see he's got talent, David Spears. It just went awry. He's like the Jamara Ugle-Hagan of politics, isn't he?
Well, you know what's interesting? There's comments like ones from Helen saying, it's a shame we lost this young man from Parliament. And there's another one saying, get this criminal off the air.
Yeah.
So that's sort of public opinion in the space of 2 texts.
All right, let's check traffic.
That is a great analogy.
Yes, you can see the raw talent. It just... It went awry.
Did go awry.
Let's check traffic. Get an outfit that will stop traffic at a great price with Peter Shearer Menswear.
A few passing showers, take it easy on the drive. Penfield, residual delays from nearly a motorcycle crash on the Northern Expressway near Womma Road. Aldernilla breakdown, Main South Road near Grant Road. Busy at the moment. South Road, Karata Park, quite slow. Tapley's Hill Road, Glenelg North, with the Camera Gawler Road, Virginia. Cartex makes the engine cleaning power of Techron available in every grade of fuel, not just premium. Fill up at Cartex and give your engine the Techron cleaning treatment today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The 5AA Sports Show, Rowie and Timmy G.
Port Adelaide have parted ways with Warren Tredrea. They put out a club statement. The board determined that Mr Tredrea's continuation as director was not in the best interest of the club.
It reeks a little bit of a personal clash between Warren and David for me. They never got on. That's easy to see.
The 5AA Sports Show.
These things never end well, do they? It ends up agony for all.
Weekdays from 4 p.m. on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
He's got his hoodie up and his head down, scrolling through his feed while strolling across the road. He's testing his luck and his new headphones. Then suddenly, he's testing your brakes too. Stop and take time to ensure your car stops in time and the brakes are all you hit. Let Automasters test your brakes before someone else does. Call 1300 Automasters.
Hi, Daniel Talia here, General Manager of Home. That's HAUME. Put simply, we buy homes. If you've received a letter from us in your mailbox, don't throw it away. You may be throwing away a golden opportunity to sell your home at market value. With zero effort, advertising fees or commissions, you'll save thousands of dollars. If you've received a letter from us, it means we're serious about buying your home. For more info, visit home.com.au. That's HAUME.com.au.
Without a doubt, the biggest contributor by far to the swear jar at By Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens is David Cox himself. And Coxie swears that you can rely on the integrity and expertise of his dedicated team for your kitchen or bathroom renovation.
That's right. A new contributor to the swear jar is Mark the Tiler. Mark swears like a navvy. He swears to greet you with a smile and to be millimetre perfect with his tiling.
Renette, a designer of 20 years with By Urban, swears to listen to your ideas and help create a functional space for you. And Rick the plumber swears to always be on time and clean up after himself.
For a team that swears to deliver on quality and service, see By Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, Adelaide's home renovation experts.
Australians deserve a stronger pharmaceutical benefits scheme, one that is faster, fairer and fit for the future. Did you know it has been 30 years since the PBS was reviewed? In that time, science and medicines have made significant advancements, but our process for getting Australians access to these advancements is letting us down. If you would like to do your part to help all Australians waiting to access critical medicines, simply visit strongerpbs.com.au today.
Is it the best Beechwood home ever made? Possibly, but there's always more to come from Beechwood. Introducing the Caliente, now open for viewing. The Caliente is a multi-level masterpiece of design, innovation and style. Taking inspiration from Palm Springs and California, it's definitely a conversation starter. The team at Beechwood can't wait for you to see it at 10 Simon Crescent, Craigburn Farm. Open Saturdays and Sundays, 1 to 4:30 p.m. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home.
With hoodie up and head down, he's crossing the road, testing his new headphones. And then he's testing your brakes too. Let Automasters test your brakes before someone else does. Call 1300 Automasters.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
22 minutes after 8, the final result of the by-election for the seat of Black vacated by David Spears in 2024 was effectively 60-40, 59.9 to 40.1 for Alex Dighton. It's essentially a 4,000 vote margin after preferences so be a bit of work to do. Notably, Alex Dighton benefited from 13.1% of first preferences went to the Greens. So it'd become a complicated picture if David Spears ran as an independent. We'd still have to get ahead of the Libs candidate that would run there, of course, too, given his comments to us just a moment ago, contemplate a potential return to politics.
Well, it's been a remarkable 72 hours in the history of the royal family. The front page of the London Sun was similar to the quip that we made on air the other day, Will. The Andrew, formerly known as Prince, was the splash head on the London Sun. Page 1 news in every single paper in Britain. And interestingly, when you consider the sort of political spectrum that those newspapers represent, even the massively pro-royal papers such as the Telegraph, the Daily Mail, were all cheering the palace on for taking action to strip Andrew of his royal title. Victoria Arbiter is a royal commentator, and she joins us now. Victoria, thank you so much for your time. What is Andrew's status now? Where's he living? Has he left the house yet at the palace?
Good morning to both of you. Well, no, he has not left yet, but that's even quite strategic. All of this has been quite strategic. Prince Andrew, formerly Prince Andrew, now just Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, is still living at Royal Lodge. There's going to be a period of time where he packs up everything there, ends his life in Windsor. He's been living in that house since 2003, so there's going to be quite a bit to manoeuvre to his new property on the Sandringham estate. Now, Sandringham, people may know, your listeners may know, that's where the royal family famously spends their Christmas every year. We see them on their walk to church. It's a privately owned estate, meaning that the taxpayer has no input at Sandringham, and that's where Andrew is going to be moving to. As we understand it, he's going to move in the new year, and the reason for the delay, apart from the logistics involved in moving, is because the royal family will be there over Christmas, and I think the king is not going to want any distractions and paparazzi hiding in the bushes trying to get a picture of Andrew going to join the rest of the family for Christmas. So he will be moving in the new year, but in terms of what life looks like there, it's a beautiful estate. It's in the most gorgeous countryside, but it's going to be pretty bleak and pretty lonely because everyone has certainly distanced themselves, and I think really it's just his daughters, grandchildren, and potentially his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson, that will be visiting.
She's not going to be staying there, though, is she? She's been told to find another place to live. Is that correct?
That is correct. So she moved in with Andrew. They've always described themselves as the happiest divorced couple, and she moved into Royal Lodge in 2008. And they were cohabiting, but I say that loosely because Royal Lodge is enormous. They each pretty much had a wing, so they could see each other when they wanted to, and they could avoid each other on the days they didn't want to see each other. Them sharing a smaller property, I think, is perhaps not quite so convenient. And given they divorced in 1996, it is extraordinary to think they've been living together all this time, but the king is not responsible for her. And finally, at this point in her life, she's 66, she's out on her own. She's responsible for finding her own place to live.
What role do you think the future King, William, Prince William, played in all of this, Victoria? Because it's felt, watching it from afar in Australia, that it's been like a battle between the sort of modern new philosophy of what the royal family should represent versus Andrew epitomising this sort of layabout entitlement and being a bit of a foppish, sort of self-obsessed dill, not working, partying. Does it feel that there's been an internal discussion about, if we don't act on this, the royal family will not look modern, it will not look current, it will not look relevant?
Yes, I think that's a very good description, certainly a very good description of Andrew. He is arrogant, he is entitled. I think it's striking that at no point have we really seen him express any kind of sympathy, empathy with the victims, or indeed remorse for his relationship with Epstein. In terms of how the King and Prince William have dealt with this, William absolutely will have been consulted, because the King is cognizant that one day William will inherit the position, and with it he'll inherit any remaining problems. So in the same way the late Queen would consult then Prince Charles, the King will have consulted William. But this was the King's decision ultimately. It's very true to say that there was pressure from parliamentarians, pressure from the public, the media, social media, and they will have read the mood across the nation, most certainly. But it's difficult when it came to thinking, well, what's the appropriate course of action? Because it is important to note that while Andrew is not a nice person, he hasn't been investigated for, charged or convicted of a crime. He continues to deny all the allegations. So the action that was ultimately decided upon is really punishing him for having very poor lapses in judgment, consorting with really not good people. Of course, there were those allegations of his connections to alleged Chinese spies. Andrew had been taking people into Buckingham Palace for years that had no business touring Buckingham Palace. You may remember, I'm not sure, there were photos several years ago that came out that showed Kevin Spacey and Ghislaine Maxwell sitting on the Queen and Philip's thrones in Buckingham Palace. That's outrageous. And they were there because of Prince Andrew, then Prince Andrew. So, yes, I think that is a good description that you said, that they recognised that there had to be a strong move. They had to be seen to be holding Andrew to account, but also they had to keep it in line with the fact that this is a man who has not been convicted of any criminal wrongdoing. So whether there's going to be any further action, well, that would be determined on whether or not the police decide to reopen the area investigation into him again. When I say police, I mean the British police.
Yeah.
But I think Andrew would certainly do himself some favours if he would voluntarily go and speak to the authorities.
Yeah, absolutely. Wonderful analysis, Victoria. Thank you. Royal commentator Victoria Arbiter there.
Rowie and Timmy G have got a great opportunity for you coming up. This is going to be fantastic. To bid on a VIP experience at Adelaide Oval to see the Strikers play live on either the 6th, 11th or 17th of January next year. Now, this is valued over $3,000. You and 17 mates can stump up the cash for this. To bid, simply go to policelegacysA.org.au. Of course, all the funds raised from the auction improve the lives of thousands of South Australian police officers and their families when they're faced with life-altering events like serious illness or bereavement. SA Police Legacy is there. So if you support this, you place a bid, that money will go towards supporting SA Police Legacy and support SA Police families when they need it the most. So, great way to support a terrific charity, and you can have a hell of a good time in the process too. policelegacysA.org.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 16 today with the 8:30 news. I'm Mel Usher.
Physio Extra for Locomat robotic technology treating stroke, cerebral palsy, brain and spinal cord injuries. Visit physioextra.com.
2 people have been arrested for trespassing at Canny near Waikerie last night. A red Subaru was spotted on a property on Lowbank Road and sped off through the paddocks when approached by the owners. Sergeant Peter Williams says the car smashed through fences, leaving a trail of destruction.
Patrols jumped into action and spotted the car at Cobb Dogler. However, it refused to stop and continued on its way. The car was then seen turning onto a road called Santos Road out at Monash, where it veered off into the scrub. Police conducted a search of that scrubland area and found the male and female suspects, and 500 metres from them was a red Subaru on fire.
A 35-year-old man from Berry is facing a range of charges, including property damage, failing to stop and driving while disqualified. His 28-year-old female passenger has also been charged with being unlawfully on premises and property damage. A man has died after a car went into a tree on Goodwood Road at Goodwood. The driver, a 73-year-old from Athelston, was taken to hospital for treatment but later passed away. He may have suffered a medical episode prior to the crash. Police will be preparing a report for the coroner. His passenger sustained minor injuries. The Prime Minister claims the previous coalition government must accept responsibility for high power prices. Anthony Albanese argues the now opposition failed to transition to renewables as coal-fired power plants closed down. The coalition is now trying to reach unified position on energy policy. Mr Albanese says while the Liberals and Nationals fight amongst themselves, his government has moved to lower electricity costs.
What has occurred on power prices is a product in part of the dysfunction of the coalition. 24 out of 28 coal-fired power stations announced their closure. They had no plan to do anything other than fight each other, and that's continuing today.
More than 13,000 SACE students will start their final exams today. The first subject is mathematical methods at 9 a.m. Students will receive their results on December 15. A 32-year-old man is the sole suspect in a stabbing attack on a train in eastern England. Of the 11 people rushed to hospital after the attack on board the London-bound service, one remains fighting for life. This man is from Huntington, the small town where the train was forced to stop. He says the ordeal has hit close to home.
This is going to be scarring in every sense for the rest of their lives. And you just can't imagine it. My kids go to school on this train route, and so it's very close to home.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Be the first to test drive the all-new Mitsubishi ASX at Agostino Mitsubishi, Nailsworth and Mawson Lakes.
It's over to Tom Wren.
Thank you, Mel. Cricket first, and India has beaten Australia by 5 wickets in their T20 clash overnight in Hobart. Meantime, India are the Women's World Cup champions for the one-day format after a 52-run win against South Africa. Well, the AFLW finals are locked in. Adelaide secured their spot with a 12-point win over Fremantle in the final match of the regular season. It means they finish in 6th spot and will now host St Kilda in an elimination final on Sunday at Norwood Oval. The Power finished the season with a 3rd straight win against GWS, but finished just outside the top 8 in 10th spot. The Adelaide 36ers have cemented 3rd spot on the NBL table after a thrilling 2-point win against the reigning champions Illawarra. Bryce Cotton again led the way with 24 points and 9 assists. Well, Yannick Sinner has returned to the world number 1 ranking following a straight sets win against Felix Auger-Aliassime. Sinner not losing a set for the entire tournament.
Sealed in style.
Meantime, Aussie Kim Birrell has fallen just short in her quest to win a maiden WTA Tour title after losing the Chennai Final Open to Janice Chen in straight sets. Well, the LA Dodgers are the first team since the New York Yankees in 25 years to win back-to-back World Series championships after winning an epic Game 7 against the Toronto Blue Jays 5-4 in the 11th inning. The Blue Jays had runners at first and third with only one out, but fell short due to a double play.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. Kirk bounces one up the middle, bats to the bag, over to first to beat the champ. You gotta knock him out. The Dodgers stand tall and win back-to-back titles.
Audio there, thanks to ESPN. A great call. Well done to the Dodgers. Mel, that is the 5AA Sport.
Absolutely. Now checking 5AA traffic.
Get some support at home with ACH Group because a little help can be a big help.
Right, to it, a few spots from early showers, but nothing too drastic. Penfield, residual delays from an early motorcycle crash on the Northern Expressway near Walmer Road, and Aldrinella, breakdown on Main South Road near Grant Road. Getting busy at South Road at Edwardstown, quite slow. Anzac Highway at Ashford heading to the city, with the camera at Burbridge Road at West Beach. Drive away in the latest Mercedes-Benz Vito van from 58,500 with an additional $2,000 of deposit contribution. Visit Mercedes-Benz Unley Vans today. Terms and conditions apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA weather.
Staycation for a vacation? Stay with C-Max. Visit cmax.com.au to sign up today.
Heading for a top of 16 for your Monday with showers, a shower or two tomorrow 17, Wednesday partly cloudy 21, Thursday a shower or two 27. Right now it's 13 degrees on 5AA, always Adelaide.
A new elevated shopping experience awaits at Burnside Village. With a 2-story mega flagship store, Coco Republic, JB Hi-Fi, Uniqlo, Style Runner, Cavari, July and much more. Burnside Village. Fashion, dining, lifestyle. burnsidevillage.com.au.
Adelaide's local, trusted and truly connected talkback radio station. 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Fluorio Milk Company will always put SA first. And you can too. When you reach for milk, reach for Fluorio Milk Company products and support our dairy farmers and their families. We guarantee that all our milk is 100% South Australian and it's always fresh. We have over 24 refrigerated trucks shipping Fluorio milk to cafes, restaurants and supermarkets all over SA. Look for the local in your supermarket. Fluorio Milk Company. We're for SA dairy farmers.
Still thinking about a sea change? Think Oakford Homes in Counter Bay. New stage released and selling fast. A variety of block sizes available in a friendly community with brand new low maintenance homes plus the beach close by. Affordable packages, no surprises. Move in now or invest for the future. Fixed price turnkey packages, flat land ready to build. Don't miss out. New stage now released. Visit our display village at Encounter Bay. Oakford Homes, a statement of quality. oakfordhomes.com.au.
It's been SA's biggest cover-up. Thousands of pool owners all over South Australia have been implicated, and now it's about to be uncovered. Who's at the centre of it? Our friends at Walco,
of course they are, that's right. It's just about time to wake your pool up from its winter slumber and start thinking about all the summer fun you'll be having in it.
One of the best things you can do for your pool, and indeed your pocket, is to get a locally made Walco pool blanket. It will keep your water clean and warm all summer long.
We've got one. It's been going strong for years, still looks brand new. Walco pool blankets are made from quality materials, so they won't perish like others do after a couple of summers. Plus, with a Walco pool blanket, you'll save money on water costs because they help stop evaporation.
Uncover the savings now with a Walco pool blanket. Visit walco.com.au today.
Would you like to enjoy a meal without having to worry about heartburn, bloating and other uncomfortable indigestion symptoms? Caruso's Indigestion Ease Probiotic to the rescue. Caruso's Indigestion Ease Probiotic relieves relieves and helps reduce the occurrence of indigestion symptoms. It also relieves heartburn and supports digestive system health. So if you're fed up with indigestion and heartburn, try Caruso's new Indigestion Ease probiotic today. Comes with money-back guarantee, now available at leading pharmacies and health stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
City Discount Tires.
Get saving now with City Discount Tires. We're offering great deals on the world's top brands in tyres, wheels, suspension and parts. Suitable for four-wheel drives, SUVs and passenger cars, including Falcon, Michelin, Pirelli, Kumho, Hankook and many more. Finance options available. Search citydiscounttires.com.au and locate your nearest dealer today. City Discount Tires. We're driven by value.
City Discount Tires.
It can happen at any time, more often than you think. Suddenly, through illness or accident, you could lose the capacity to manage your financial or personal affairs. What happens next? Who makes medical or health decisions? Who controls the family trust? From the simplest to the most complex wills and estate plans, Donlan Lawyers will answer your questions and help carry out your wishes. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com, Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide, and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
At Coles, chock out on great half-price chocolate treats like Cadbury Share Pack 120 to 180 grams and Mars Chocolate Fun Size 132 to 192 grams. Now just $3.50. Shop in store or online at Coles. Offer ends Tuesday.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
20 minutes to 9. We want your help in devising a new float for the Christmas pageant, but here's the trick. You can only tell us what the float's name is. 82230000 is the number. Devise the float and give it a name that will communicate what it is to us, and you could win a fantastic prize before 9 o'clock.
Like Karenia, something like
that. Yes. 82230000. Design a float. You can only tell us its name. We spoke a little bit earlier in the program about the Libs' new breach bail, go to jail rules, which we noted was funny because I think if you ask most people, what happens if you breach bail? Well, you go to jail? No, it requires a law change. Similarly, I think most people would imagine that in the event that you are given a sentence, you serve it in prison. Well, over the last 8 years, according to the Times' reporting, 1,100 prisoners have been released on home detention before serving out their court-ordered non-parole period, which I imagine if you're a listener is infuriating. But close your eyes and imagine you're a victim's family member, totally. And how do you feel about it? Well, Michael O'Connell spent his life fighting for the rights of victims and joins us now on 5AA Breakfast. Michael, good to speak to you, mate, and good morning.
Good morning, David. Good morning, Will, and good morning, most importantly, to your listeners.
Michael, I've got to say, until the Tizer did this story the other day about that shocking drug driver Luigi Glagora, I had no idea this was happening. Were you aware of it?
I was aware, and I should say I'm not strongly opposed to home detention per se, but what I am opposed to is the fact that administrative decisions are being made that undermine, first of all, the point you have made, the court has ordered that a person serve a term of imprisonment and sets the minimum non-parole period. So that's already raised victims' expectations about how long that person will be behind bars, for want of a better term. And secondly, is that victims should be consulted before any of these decisions are made and given an opportunity to express their views. They should be treated as genuine participants with respect and with dignity. After all, they're the people who were harmed, and another person made that decision to harm them.
Yeah. Absolutely. But it feels like, I mean, clearly you'd have to think the reason that corrections are doing this, it's about managing the prison population, is it not? And with spots being at a premium, does that mean that the crowding of the prisons is taking priority over the actual sentences that the judiciary have brought down?
Well, that is a two-sided argument. One of them is that if we're short of spaces in prison, then possibly that is an argument for building more prisons. And coupled with that, are we sending the right people to prison in the first place? The second is that the victims' views matter. Their sense of justice has to be as important, in my view, more important than the interests of the well-being, etc., of the person who's committed the crime.
Totally.
And at the moment, we don't seem to quite have the balance right. Yeah, when Ben Hyde gets a letter that says to him, thank you for registering as a victim, and that's another issue. Only those people who register with corrections get told these sorts of decisions have been made, and victims aren't told automatically that they have a right to register. It relies very much on other people because we write most victims' rights in a passive sense. You are entitled to things if you ask for it. Well, if you don't tell people that they have a right to ask for it, how are they ever going to exercise that right? And so in Ben Hyde's case, he gets a letter, according to the advertiser, that says, in principle, we've already made this decision.
Yeah, totally, totally.
Well, that's just not fair. That's not, in my view, respectful. The letter should have said, you are a registered victim. This person has an opportunity to apply for release from home detention. What are your views on it? And most importantly, your views matter, and we will take them into account. And if they are valid, this person won't be released. It shouldn't need immediate intervention to bring about some sense of fairness for a person affected by crime.
The other thing I'd say, Michael, is I think that story that the advertiser did and that Ben Hyde did and the editor Gemma Jones did, it was so important. But my reading of it is that story was sailing a bit close to the wind legally, and I say that not as a criticism of the story because it's the job of the media to push back against what I regard in some cases as being completely ridiculous laws that deliberately tie people's hands and prevent the public from finding out important information. But what I did not know, and this is reported in the Advertiser today, and this is why Ben Hyde's case was important and would probably not have happened if not for the fact that Ben is a journalist who still works at a newspaper. So victims are bound from publicly disclosing any information about the fact that the perpetrator might be being moved onto home detention. There's a $10,000 fine that corrections can actually levy, not against the criminal, but the victim. If the victim dares say anything publicly about the fact that someone's going to be put on home detention, it's actually the victim of crime who can get punished.
Yes, so that law originally came about because of some concern that identifying a perpetrator and their whereabouts may have a detrimental effect for victims, like in cases such as familial child abuse and other matters. But like anything that goes through a parliament, they tend to take a very global approach. So it's like a giant fishing net. It sweeps up all these other bits and pieces and what have you that perhaps were never intended to be there. I personally find it reprehensible that we have to threaten a victim in order to ensure the sanctity of information, particularly about administrative decisions that have been made by an authority, whether it be police, prosecution, or, in this case, corrections. I mean, again, I reiterate the point. The person who was wrong, the person who was harmed, is where our focus should be.
Correct.
We should be more victim-centric in how we go about crafting our laws and how about we go implementing those laws and putting them into practice. And to threaten someone doesn't really do much in terms of saying, look, we are concerned about you. We want to treat you with respect. We want to treat you with dignity. It's almost the direct opposite. Mind you, some of the victims who are registered do get some really quite confidential information, and there are some safety issues around some of the perpetrators.
Yeah, I get that. But as a general principle,
there has to be a balance.
Yeah, that's right. But as a general principle, it is quite jarring, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Well, imagine getting a letter that says, in principle, we've decided to let this person who you believe is going to be staying in prison for, let's say, 5 years, and now we're going to let him on home detention in 4 years' time. And not only in principle, but if you tell anyone about this, we will possibly prosecute you and you face the possibility of a significant fine.
I mean, outrageous.
Yes.
Unbelievable. What a total joke. Hey, always excellent catching up with you, Michael. Michael O'Connell, the former Victims' Rights Commissioner. That's just screwed up, isn't it?
Patently ludicrous.
Well, the other thing too is you only find out at all if you register as a victim. So how many of these people, there'd be people listening to the show of victims of crime.
You've gone to court, you've watched the whole process, you've gone, oh, good, they're going to jail for X amount of time.
You might bump into them down at the local shops.
Ridiculous. Michael, it was good to chat. Michael O'Connell, the former Victims' Rights Commissioner. Before we go to the break, as a bit of a palate cleanser for that ugliness, we got some Christmas pageant tickets to give away. The pageant back for another year. It also means the returns of mums and dads setting the very early alarm to get the best spot for the family. We'll never fear. We've got you sorted with a bit of sleep in with 4 exclusive VIP grandstand tickets. Give us a call with the name of a pageant float that you've just designed right now. 8223 Just give us the name. We need to know what it is by the name, okay? 8223 Could be you getting along with 4 exclusive VIP grandstand tickets to the Royal Show. Design a float and give us just the name of your new float. We'll get to some of your entries in a moment. Traffic first, though. Get an outfit that will stop traffic at a great price with Peter Shearer Menswear.
Rob's got one. It's called Chop Chop. Thank you, Rob.
Rob could have won.
Morning there. Roads are looking too bad for the run-in today. We're quite busy South Road at Karata Park. We're pretty slow at the moment. Main North Road at Enfield. Breakdown to look out for at Old Ranella. Main South Road near Grant Road. And sluggish forks at Flinders Park, Grange Road near Holbrooks Road. Cameras, Shepperton Road, Parafield Gardens and Tapley Hill Road at Fulham today. Flight dinners at Big Red Sail is on now. Fly Vancouver return from $1,429 per person. Hurry, these deals are selling fast. Call 133 133 today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Tired of rising power bills? What if you could eliminate power bills forever? With NRG Solar, the new cheaper home batteries program gives eligible homes and businesses up to 30% off the cost of a new home battery, saving you thousands. NRG Solar has the know-how to help you claim the rebate and design a system that delivers real long-term value. Own your energy, own your future. Call 1300 858 160, that's 1300 858 160, or visit nrgsolar.com.au now.
Hi, I'm Lynn Andrews. The Lynn Andrews team have seen a lot of change in real estate over the past 50 years, but one thing remains unchanged: our passion to help people invest in their future. To build strong property portfolios in either the residential or the commercial sectors. Our commitment to property investment over the years means we have a wealth of knowledge to share. We're here to help you. Visit lynnandrews.com.au.
Oh, geez, it's hot in here. Can someone pass the Morford air? Oh, that's better.
When the temperature is too hot or cold to bear, reach for the Morford Air, Adelaide's own homegrown family air conditioning company. Morford Air has kept South Australians perfectly comfortable for over 50 years. So when it's too hot or cold to bear, you can always reach for the Morford Air. Look for the bright blue building at 602 Marion Road or visit morfordair.com.au.
Morford Air. They say one of life's biggest decisions is buying a home. But sometimes the hardest one is leaving it. At Anglicare SA, we're here to help you stay where you belong. We offer support for everyday things like cleaning, gardening, cooking, but are also experts in care management, allied health, and clinical nursing. Because we believe there is no place like home. And with the right support, there is no reason to leave it. Find out more at Anglicare SA. You are at home.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months. At Premier Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, Premier Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for Premier Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
Mazda's 2025 plate clearance is on now. Don't miss incredible drive-away deals across select 2025 models. Take on the toughest terrain in the top-of-the-range Mazda BT50 SP. Now from $68,990 drive away. Or get the job done with the worksite-ready BT50 XT 4x4 dual cab from $55,990 drive away. away. Hurry into your local dealership before they're gone. Priced to clear and ready to move. The Mazda plate clearance is on now. Terms, conditions and exclusions apply. See Mazda.com.au for details.
There's surprisingly big offers at Hyundai, like the Tucson from $39,990 drive away. Visit your participating Hyundai dealer today.
David Penberthy and Will Goodings, 5AA Breakfast.
7 minutes to 9. Come together and experience the magic of Christmas with the National Pharmacy's Christmas pageant, celebrating the official start to the festive season on Saturday, 9th of November. That's right.
You're in peak must go to the pageant parenting territory, aren't you, with a 3-year-old?
Completely.
Yeah, that is absolutely.
She doesn't forget anything at the moment either. I had one conversation with her mother last week about Halloween, and suddenly every day was, can we go trick-or-treating? How does this... Just suddenly, it all clicked. We want to ask you, though, to add a float to the Christmas pageant, but you can only tell us the float's name. 8223 Get calling now, and someone is going to walk away with 4 exclusive VIP grandstand tickets. The float can be Christmassy or not. What do you reckon our listeners are going to go with?
Shocking on the
I think or not. Let's go to Largs Bay. Fiona, good morning. What's the name of your float?
G'day, guys. It's got to be Showdown float.
The Showdown float.
Yeah, I like it.
That'd be good.
I like it.
Keep them separated.
Yeah.
Let's go to, Dave and Albin. Dave, good morning.
Good morning, boys. Paternoster will be the name of the float.
Paternoster?
Do you want me to, it's got twofold. It's a fishing rig, which you use to catch whiting, which is obviously topical at the moment, and it's a bottom-dwelling rig, which goes down quickly, so it could also represent Adelaide's finals in 2025.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you.
You knew that was coming, didn't you?
From Dave to David. David, good morning. What's the name of your float?
Good morning. Golden Sands.
Golden Sands.
Why Golden Sands, David?
We have beautiful beaches around South Australia, so I thought a float showing our beautiful beach line with a beach flavour for the kids as they do and that sort of stuff over the Christmas period.
That's a nice one, David.
Good one.
Well, I was on guard after Dave from Melbourne, and I thought it might be another crow's gag somewhere. Julie, good morning.
The flip side of fishing would be Bloomin' Christmas.
Bloomin' Christmas. That's a great float name. Bloomin' Christmas.
That's a good one, Julie.
Julie, that's excellent. Let's go to Seaton. Tony, good morning. What's the name of your float?
It's called the QEH Ramping Float.
Very festive.
What we do, we get a semi-trailer down there Saturday morning, and we'll put everybody on the back. Whoever's waiting there in the ambulance, we'll come to the trailer, and we'll tie them down, and we'll get them down North Terrace.
And here it comes, round the corner, behind the giant stocking, it's the QEH ramping prices. And look at all those patients. Don't they look in distress?
Because all the floats come in early morning from Cheltenham, don't they?
Yes.
And you can have one, and the floats are coming down Port Road, heading in a southeasterly direction towards the city, and I can see one of the floats has stopped at the lights and it's moved into the right-hand lane and it's turning right into the QEH, looking for the ramp, and there it sits for the next 4 hours.
That's good. Who wins the VIP tickets?
I think the QEH one has to win.
All right. Who was that?
Who was that? The very last caller, Tony.
They've just dropped off the line. It was Tony.
Tony,
congratulations. You've got the tickets coming your way. Come together and experience the magic of Christmas with the National Pharmacy's Christmas pageant, celebrating the official start of the festive season on Saturday, the 9th of November.
Cassie Sainsbury.
That's the name of the float. Just her, just wandering through, waving.
Pile of white powder with someone sitting on top of it.
Just throwing headphones out to the kids.
A few public figures might be able to sit on that one with her.
Let's have a look at the fuel situation before we get thrown off the air this morning. The Yugo at Clearview, $1.57.5. The Mobile Hampstead Gardens, $1.57.5. They're both pretty cheap. So too the Mobile at Shido Park, $1.59.5. And diesel remains really reasonable. The Solo Windsor Gardens is $1.63.5. It's better to be a member with REA Road Service. We love the RAA. We love
do.
your suggestions. Don't read out any more because we are going to get banned from there.
Oh, no, the last one was hilarious.
All right.
Might read that in the morning.
We'll name more blokes in the future. We'll see you tomorrow.